sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder. What a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. No doubt another busy afternoon ahead on this programme, and don't forget we've got the fans back 5:30 until 7 o'clock this evening on Sports Sound. We'll open up our WhatsApp rant line 08085 92 95 00. If you've been at a game today, if you're sitting at home, if you're in the car, give us a shout. Let us know what you think of your team, your manager, performance, your expectations, anything goes. We'll get them played out later in the programme. Leanne Crichton, we've been speaking a lot about the challenge that faces David Gray there at Celtic Park this afternoon. It's just so difficult for these players. You'll always go into a game of belief, Leanne, but for these players to seriously believe they can take something from this one, that's quite a lot to get into the head, isn't it?
No, it is. Look, Celtic, no doubt they're carrying that fear factor this season. Seasons gone by, Celtic have always been, notoriously the top side in the league, but I think this season they've shown a different level of form. They're a different animal in terms of their ruthlessness and their performances and the strength and depth of the squad that they've got. So, yeah, a tough afternoon ahead for Hibs, but look, that's the job of any side is to come. It's 11v11 at the end of the day. You've got to have a game plan, you've got to be equipped, you've got to be ready, you've got to be mentally strong and resilient and ready to put up a challenge. Just off to my right hand side, some of the travelling fans as well, there's an expectation regardless of how their season has looked this far. They want their players to turn up at Celtic Park and perform, and it's over to the champions, I suppose, to go and do what they do.
Yeah, you've got to love the football fans. These Hibs supporters have had a torrid time, not just this season but for a number of years, and they turned up in good numbers and they were rewarded at Fair Park last Saturday. Tom, we had one of them join us straight out the ground. He was absolutely buzzing, but this is an entirely different experience for them today. One sec, Tom, slight problem with your mic there. We'll get Tom's mic just sorted in 1 second. On you go, Tom.
Okay, yeah, no, this is a different, as you say, a challenge of an altogether different dimension. A survival job here, get out of Glasgow with their pride intact, bit of momentum. I think that's probably all they can hope for. Anything else, if they get a draw out of this, it'd be a miracle.
Is it looking, Willie Miller, another close to full house here at Pittodrie this afternoon?
I think the weather has had an impact, but as far as I know, these games, all the games are being sold out at present. And it is a very healthy crowd, but the weather's been really dreadful this morning. Cleared up a little bit. Guess what? It's back on again, wind and rain. So I think that's put some of the supporters off, but there's still a healthy crowd in here. Good atmosphere.
Yes, should be a good game there. Should be a good game through at Tynecastle. Alan Preston, the guys were talking earlier on about the dreadful home record for Hearts this season. That's very unusual.
It is, but they've made a decent start. They've got a corner already, which Fenrice is going to take Kenny on the right hand side.
Chance for Hibs.
Yes.
Clean through and goal. Kukurevich can't. Save by Schmeichel. Brilliant save down to his left hand side. I'm going to be critical though, he's got to score. They're still on. Hibs are coming back into the box. Decent chance. It's been cleared. It came from a poor touch from Greg Taylor just in the attacking half for Celtic. The ball was turned over. Kukurevich made the run from inside his half and pretty certainly was still onside, but a big chance for Hibs to take an early lead at Celtic Park.
What a chance. Great save, but he's got to score.
It's almost like an optical illusion when you see somebody in that amount of space running at the Celtic goalkeeper, because it doesn't happen that often.
No, Schmeichel's not been faced with that this season, I don't think, has he?
We're seeing a replay now here, so yeah, he's in his own half, so obviously not offside. I mean, his space. I mean, look at this, Michael, the space he's got here, but it's just an outstretched foot there from
got to
the keeper.
Score. Yeah.
1 wee second, about a slight problem with your mic there, Mike. On you go.
When you think about from his perspective, what a start that would be, and you're right, he has to score it. He just looks like he was actually stretching. Never looked like he was really fully in control of the strike, under a wee bit of pressure from Trusty coming back. But alarming defending from Celtic, because Trusty was on his own on the halfway line. Scales had slipped across out to this left hand side.
Another chance, Leanne.
Yeah, just another chance there. Didn't want to cut across Michael as he was describing that one, but Schmeichel parries it. Celtic are slightly rocked, you would need to say. It's been a positive start for Hibs, but if anything, the chances have just come a bit too early, because I think when you're bearing down in goal, I don't know if Hibs are expecting that chance within 90 seconds of the game. So you're kind of caught cold, I suppose, but credit to Schmeichel on both occasions.
Well, you say that, Liam, but I'm not being funny. He's fortunate that he sees the strike all the way. he puts his fist on it down on the ground, and he's fortunate it goes right to Liam Scales.
Yeah.
That could have dropped it.
Yeah.
You know, a Hibs player and
Was
knocked
it more
in the back.
risky, was it? Yeah.
Aye. I think he could have done better.
Very positive start from the wayside there at Celtic Park. Let's get back to Alan Preston. Alan, do you like the look of the side that the manager's put out today?
I think needs must at times. Certainly they're going to miss Frankie Kent, who I think arguably has been their best player this season.
Close at Tannadice.
Yeah, take it away, Ian.
Well, the United have just hit the inside of the post. Molt with the first effort, and I'm pretty sure it was Babunski that hit the inside of the post. From here it looked in, but all the early pressure is the United.
Yeah, just seen that chance again there, Tom. Yeah, it was a good opportunity, a very good opportunity, a bright start from the home side there. Just back to yourself there, Alan. What are you expecting from this one today? Because Dundee into the top 6 again, very, very good. And you saw, as you touched on earlier, the job they did on Hearts up at Dens earlier in the season.
Yeah, Dundee have been excellent this season. They really have.
Michael, sorry, just keep an eye on the replay. There was a shout for a Celtic penalty there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alan.
Right, no worries, Leanne. Don't worry, I'll get you back when we want to talk about the Scotland women.
We're getting to that, don't worry, we're getting to that. Yep, it's coming.
No, there was nothing in it. It was just Adam Ida was running into the box, but it looked like he just stepped on Jack Iredale and stumbled and fell over.
Okay, I thought it was more of a shirt pull just the way he'd gone to ground.
Right, OK, let's get to Paisley. St Mirren at home to Motherwell. What's happening in the early stages, Rory Loy?
St Mirren have started well, Kenny. Motherwell have looked a little bit dangerous on the counter at times, but it's St Mirren who started on the front foot. They've had a couple of corners. Conor McMenamin had a free kick there, which he tried to whip into the near post and catch the goalkeeper out. Didn't quite come off. So it's been a competitive start and a fast flow to the game. I'm enjoying it so far. I just think with the way these two teams set up, could become a bit of a midfield slog, but no signs of that so far. Enjoyable, but still 0-0.
Right, let's get into the Championship. Stephen McGinn is watching Falkirk against Wraith Rovers. What's happening there, Stephen?
Wraith Rovers have started really well, but Falkirk for the first time used the pace. They went with Calvin Malarife and Ross and Alfie Agiman, and just pace right across the board. And Wraith have had a decent start.
Goal for Celtic.
Yes, Leanne.
1-0. I think it's Arnie Engels that gets on the end of it. Nice combination play down the right hand side. Alistair Johnson, a really simple ball just across the 6-yard box, and it's Engels that just nips in and stabs the ball beyond Smith.
Goal for
in the Hibernian goal.
Yeah, take it away, Stephen.
Yeah, just a minute ago they showed their hand, they showed how quick they can be, and it's that man Miller crossing in for Alfie Agiman. Rafer rocked, they never quite recovered, and Falkirk punished them. 1-0 Falkirk.
What a start for them, what a start for the Championship. Celtic Park. Michael, get a chance to look at this goal again?
Yeah, it's just classic play. Overlap and run from Alistair Johnson in behind the defence. And I keep going on about the importance of trying to get in behind the defence, try to get towards the byline. Just a little overlap round Kuhn, gets laid into his path, faces it, fizzes it right across the face of the goal. And Arnie Engels is making a really well-timed run into the middle, and he's able to just tap into the back of the net. It's a nice finish. Just gets a little bit of a dink on it just to make sure that if the goalkeeper is making a block, he's not going to be able to get to it because he just gets a wee bit of air on it. And clearly that's going to do his confidence the world of good as well.
Alistair Johnson.
Although Celtic fans won't care, but is anybody else worried that Celtic are just going to win the league for years and years and years to come? Rangers won it once in 12, 13, 14 years, whatever it is.
I think
no one else has won the league outside Celtic and Rangers in 40 years. It's now going to get ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you wonder when somebody other than Celtic are going to win the league, and I couldn't put a number of years on that because they're streets ahead of everyone, streets ahead of Rangers, obviously. The only club with the financial capacity to mount some kind of a challenge. But you look at Rangers' numbers, financial numbers, and they're just, they're dropping the ocean.
Oh,
compared
what a
to
chance. Great chance for Hearts. Really good play again. Penrice on the left-hand side. It's a great ball in. Musa Drama misses. Wilson misses it at the near post to start with. I think he should have got something on it. Michael, you'll be able to tell us. Musa Drama's coming in at the back, and he tries to smash it instead of maybe side-footing it into the back of the net. Good chance for Hearts.
But it's that great link-up down the left again. Yeah. Spittle for Penrice. Wonderful ball in. Who's it that misses it at the near post? I'm just saying again. Wilson misses it, yeah.
Can he get on it?
No. Yeah, I think he probably could have, but I think just the fact of the pure pace that's on it and Wilson being in front of him, I think it probably catches just Drama a little bit by surprise, comes at him so quickly. But That left-hand side for Hearts with Spittle and Penrith is one of the big positives this season.
Yeah, Leanne.
It's off the crossbar. Brilliant play again from Celtic, this time down the left-hand side. The cut back from Maida, and I think it was McCowan that gets on the end of it. Just comes off the top of the crossbar and over.
Yeah, another big chance there. Alan, I hear a lot of our pundits full of praise for Penrith. What do you make of him? What are his qualities?
Yeah, getting forward, without a doubt. You know, linking up, as Michael touched on, with Spittle. Really good partnership on the left-hand side. Spittle likes to cut inside on his right, which then lets him reverse it back out for an overlapping Spittle. And when he gets to the byline, 9 times out of 10 he picks out the right cross, whether it be cutbacks, whether it be driven, whether it be floated to the back. So he's been a really good addition.
Couple of goals down in England for you. Brentford 1, Newcastle United 0. Mbueno with a goal there on 8 minutes. And Crystal Palace 1-0 up at home to Manchester City. Munoz on 4 minutes. Let's get back around the grounds. Let's get to Willie Miller. The Dons looking for a bounce back this afternoon. And looking in the mood there, Willie?
No. I'm afraid not. No, there's been barely any excitement in and around the penalty box. It's been pretty dour, to be perfectly honest. I don't know, as the conditions aren't nearly as bad as what they were.
It's a bubble burst.
It looks like it. And if I could just change the subject and go back to what Alan was talking about. Although Kevin Nisbet's in just now, he's trying to go, no, good defending. Still alive but cleared. Yeah, Andrew McKinley, is he not the one that's been talking bullish about perhaps splitting the old firm?
Yes.
It has been.
Yes, he has, yeah. On what basis, I don't know. The bottom of the league, and you're talking about challenging Celtic.
Not the time.
That's chutzpah, if ever you've heard it.
I thought he spoke well during the week. He was very, he spoke about how confident he was that Hearts would make the top 6. I mean, Alan, for example, would you share that confidence right now?
At this moment in time, no. Let's have a look at the fixtures between now and January and see who they bring in January and what they do. It's going to be very difficult for them. When you look at, I think Dundee United are 13 points ahead at the moment. Aberdeen are away into the sunset. Celtic and Rangers are away, so the places are shortening. And can Hearts get one of them? I think it's going to be very difficult for them, to be honest.
I think all eyes on Hearts in January, Alan, to see what Jamestown come up with, the calibre of player they come up with, and the impact.
Yeah,
that's
Tom,
the first real test of Jamestown.
It is, but what you need to realise is this isn't going to be done overnight. This is going to be 4 or 5 windows. This is not this window. And as I said to you, with Kingsley being out, it looks like they're going to have to bring in a centre half. There may be other injuries. At this time, a couple of years back, it was when we lost Craig Gordon and Halkett on the same day at Tannadice, so things change.
But 4 or 5 windows, Alan, to achieve what? Where would you expect them to be?
Oh, decent effort there from Spittle, just wide of the target. The keeper's out his box on the right-hand side. He kicks out the park, doesn't get it right. Spittle hits it first time from about 50 yards, just wide of the target. I think what they're trying to do is close the gap if they can between Celtic and Rangers, probably Rangers, to close the gap with them and then see where it gets them from there.
In terms of signings, though, Alan, just the basic principle of what Jamestown Analytics is going to do, you should be able to come up with names quicker than the old-fashioned way of going out, watching players 4 and 5 times. If you're sticking stats and data into a computer, and that's kind of your way of doing things, which has been successful for a number of clubs, surely come January they should have a ream. Now, you can't implement them all straight away. Of course you can't. It needs to be gradual, and I do agree it'll take a couple of windows. But the sheer principle of what they're trying to do, surely they should put, you should be able to get signings in the door a lot quicker than the kind of traditional way.
It's all right identifying them, Rory. It's getting them in. The club might not agree, they might not be out of contract, they might be too much wages, then you've got to go to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. It's all right identifying them, then you have to start the process of actually getting them in. It's difficult.
But here's the thing, you talk about analytics, okay? Did anyone need analytics to know that Spittle and Penrice would be good signings for Hearts? No. They're out of contract, they're playing in the league, you know that. That's where the bread and butter needs to be for Hearts. Yes, by all means, you need to use the technology that's there. But this is not some sort of silver bullet that's going to all of a sudden propel Hearts up the table and start challenging at the top end of the table. They need to focus on the basics. And for too long, I don't think they've done that. They need to get the foundations in place. And you talk about 4 or 5 windows, that's 2.5 years down the line. 2.5 years down the line, you're talking about goalkeeper, centre halves, players that I'm talking about that are strong team players now that are going to be moving on. You know, that's 2.5 years is an eternity.
And a lot of patience with some managers, Michael, because if it's 4 or 5 windows
to drop out. You need players that will be coming to the end of their contracts. You need to move them on as well. But on the same front though, Michael, Hearts have been crying out for a striker. We're in Scotland, because Penrith and Spittal I agree with. We knew them, they're in your backyard. But we're in Scotland, so you're going to have to broaden.
Is there one you could think of in Scottish football right now they'll be looking at?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Hearts, bring him. Yeah.
Can I put a point here? It's not what we think, it's what Hearts think. Hearts think that this Jamestown is a game changer. That's what we've been hearing. You know, is it going to be a game changer? They've put a lot of store in that it's going to turn, you know, where they are just now into challenging the Old Firm. That's what they think. That's what Andrew McKinley was saying.
They do believe that, Willie.
Yeah.
But they have to be judged on every window. So if they bring a couple in January, it's not going to be a game changer immediately. It might not be a game changer at all, but you've got to judge. You judge those appointments then, those signings. Right, they're Jamestown signings. Let's see what the credibility of Jamestown is after each signing. If they hit the mark, the 2 guys who come in or 3 guys who come in January, then you say, okay, Jamestown, this could work at Hearts. But if they sign 2 or 3 Jamestown in January and they don't work, then Jamestown's credibility takes a bit of a blow.
Tom, there's one thing I can say for certain is whether it's Jamestown or anybody else, if they keep losing football matches, the manager won't get 4 or 5 transfer windows.
Yeah,
no chance.
That's for sure.
That's what I mean with patience, and you need to be patient with the manager if you're going to go down that route.
Remember
because it's fine signing these players, but if you're going through 2 and 3 managers, it's just not going to work.
But remember, the manager is part Jamestown too. So, you know,
yes,
you've got to judge. So the Jamestown are being judged on Critchley now as well as any of the signings that come in that have their name attached to them.
Some goals coming in. Sennismuir 1, Dumbarton 0. Matty Yates after 8 minutes. Newcastle have equalised away at Brentford. Alexander Isak on 11. That's 1 apiece there. East 5-1. Elgin City 0. Rhys Peggy on 14 minutes. Queen's Park have gone ahead at home to Airdrie. Dom Thomas on 14 minutes. Let's continue a trip around the grounds. What's happening at Tannadice, Ian McCall?
You know, Dundee United are absolutely dominant, but the game is so long, and by that I mean the distances between the Kilmarnock back 3, their midfield and the strikers, there's so much space to play in. But Dundee United, Kilmarnock are just starting to come in. Bruce Anderson had a wee chance, a kind of half chance 2 or 3 minutes ago, but Dundee United really, really dominant.
What's happening in Paisley, Rory? You just feel Motherwell really needs something to happen. It's been a tough few weeks for them.
Yeah, St Mirren, as I said, have started well. They're very direct, Motherwell. I really do think Paul McGinn is one of the most underrated players and has been for a number of years up here. I think he's excellent. I played with him at Dundee. He's Mr. Reliable. He's very good on the ball as well. Composure. He's their captain when he's on the pitch as well. So I think they miss him massively at the back. There's a lot of Route 1 stuff, back to front, and it's missing out good players. Lennon Miller, of course, everyone's spoken about. Andy Halliday's a good technician. Ewan Wilson, I think, flies under the radar simply because he is playing next to Lennon Miller. So they've got a good midfield, but at the moment they're bypassing the midfield and not making good use of it, and St Mirren are dominating the ball.
That's a really good move from Hearts. Good ball in again by Penrice. Good defending by Robertson at the back post, but lovely play one side of the pitch to the other. Really patient. Penrice again picking out the right pass. Drama. Just can't get enough on it.
Willie is saying quite a slow start there up at Pittodrie. We've seen a definite change in style for St Johnstone under Valakari.
Chance for Hibs,
Kenny. Take a week, Leanne.
Oh my days, what a chance. Joe Newell, I tell you what, it would have been up there with goal of the season. Hibs must have strung together about 15 odd passes, possibly even more. Ball gets cut back, Joe Newell unmarked, penalty spot, skies it over the crossbar.
So that's just incompetent.
It's just a real lack of concentration. It is unbelievable. I mean, 2 wonderful chances in this game. Wonderful chances.
I tell you what, Willie, in that moment he was an atrocious player.
He was incompetent.
It's
on his left foot as well.
It's a Finn Russell job. It's clear the crossbar by a mile.
It was actually a very good move, as Leanne said. It's been a bright start for Hibs. They're behind Leanne, but I mean, they've had 2 fantastic chances.
Look, that's been their best chance, certainly. We're edging into the 18th minute just now, and they've been out of possession for a fair amount of time since that early chance within the opening couple of minutes. Celtic then took the lead, but it's been backs to the wall in terms of being out of possession. At points, they've been a back 5, they've been a back 6, they've been parked in the edge of their 18. But those are the moments that you understand you're going to be without the ball at Celtic Park for huge spells in the game. It's then what you do when you win it back, and in that instance, they won the ball back, they secured possession, they played with real composure, they worked it left to right, centrally, back down the right hand side, and it's the end product that's missing. You've got to take those chances.
It's a high foot in Paisley. Steve said, and I don't know if you'll get another look at it. It was high. It does catch, I think, more on the side of the head. He's getting a talk to for the referee. Sensible from referee. I think he's not even booked him. I think it was probably a yellow card, not enough for a red, but it looked quite a sore one, I have to say.
Pretty high, wasn't it?
I was interested for a second as to what he was going to do, but nothing given.
You're talking about analytics. There's Hibs, Garvin Stewart coming in from Bournemouth as well, so they're going down that route also.
Yeah, interesting to see.
I think they're all going down that road, Alan.
Yeah.
I think Aberdeen are going down that road.
There'll be A1 managers before long.
Yeah, exactly.
Willie, what's happening at Pittodrie? Anything at all from St Johnstone by way of attacking threat?
Not a great deal from the visitors. Aberdeen kind of dominating the ball, and the last 10 minutes or so came right into the game. But St Johnstone are defending well. They're well organised. They're dropping deep. They're allowing Aberdeen to get the ball. They're playing the two up top as well, with Nicky Clark supporting them. You know, Kirk and Pioka. So there is a threat there going forward. You haven't seen it enough, though. That's the only problem. And for Aberdeen, they're just lacking that creativity in and around the box. They're getting in and around the box, but they're doing very little once you get there.
Right, let's drop into the Championship. The leaders Falkirk home to Raith Rovers this afternoon there for us. Steve McGinn, a great start from the host. They've not really kicked on from that, Stephen?
It's a really strange game. It's probably the first league game in John McGlynn's reign as Falkirk manager that they've actually been the counter-attack team at home. Raith have dominated possession, they've dominated the game, but Falkirk seem really comfortable with it. Raith without threatening anything. It's Ross Miller and Aggieman just waiting to pounce. Gary Oliver went off injured for Ross McIver back on, but it's really strange watching them not have so much of the ball at home, but Raith with all the ball yet to throw a punch at Falkirk.
So in the Premiership, Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 0, Celtic 1, Hibs 0, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 0, Dundee 0, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. In the Championship, Dunfermline 0, Hamilton Accies 0, as we've been hearing. Falkirk 1, Raith Rovers 0, Morton 0, Livingston 0, Partick Thistle 0, Ayr United 0. Queen's Park have just gone 2-0 up at home to Airdrie. I'll bring you that scorer shortly. In League One, Annan Athletic 0, Cove Rangers 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Alloa 0, Montrose 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Stenhousemuir 1, Dumbarton 0. 5:30 starts are both at home to Queen of the South. And in League 2, the game between Bonnyrigg Rose and Spartans, that was postponed this morning. Clyde 0, Peterhead 0.
Good save.
Yes, Alan.
Blair Spittle, lovely, comes off the touchline, ball at the back post, Shanklin with a header. He scored! At last, Lawrence Shanklin. That's a brilliant ball, and again from the left-hand side, and there's Lawrence Shanklin at the back post, looping header, and it drops into the net. Hearts 1, Dundee 0. Lawrence Shanklin.
Huge celebrations here, Michael. Neil Critchley, what on the top? He's going nuts down there, the manager.
He is, understandably. I'd say the relief coursing through Lawrence Shanklin's body right now must be incredible.
It just kind of looks like a relief to me there, the way he was doing that to his teammates, his arms out.
He hasn't really celebrated that much.
No.
I'd say he's just such a happy camper right now to see that going in the back of the net.
Play by Hearts, Kenny, and Blair Spittle comes off the touchline. It's a really good ball into his feet. He quickly gets turned and hits it from about 30 yards. McCracken makes a good save, but it goes out in the wider area. It's a wonderful ball in again, and there's Shanklin at the back post with a looping header, just dropping into the back of the net.
Seen him with a header
49 efforts at goal now.
Seen him with a header like that on a number of occasions last season. I think about the goal that he scored for Scotland against Georgia late on. Same sort of thing. Just away from home, yeah, but physically right up against the defender, and he's able to just outmuscle them. And it's not a great powerful header, but he just gets perfect precision on it, and the keeper can't get anywhere near it.
As well.
Exactly. I was just about to say there was for Scotland and for Hearts as well. Very, very similar. And I tell you the other one was as well. Rosenborg last season, exactly the same as that. Physically right up against the defenders, able to hold them off and just guide into the corner. It's a really, really good goal. And again, you see patterns of play, and this is the big thing. And I said it to you.
Hibs, 1-on-1 again. Oh, they've missed it again.
This is incredible.
Debate whether it would have been offside or not, I think, in terms of the way Celtic players put their arms up in the air.
Terrible touch.
Cook. Oh
Shocking
my
touch.
Kukarevic, unbelievable. But it would be Alistair Johnson if anybody that's playing him on side. It's quite incredible though. Trusty starts stepping up. Alistair Johnson's, I don't know what he's doing.
He's young.
Celtic shake out of possession in the moments that they've been turned over when they've dominated the ball in the opposition half. It has been really, really poor this afternoon.
Yeah, well that is, I mean, whether he was definitively on or off, I can't tell you, but one thing is for certain, like Leanne's mentioned, is that defensively that line, it was all over the place. Alistair Johnson sort of looking at it unfolding, he can see Trusty stepping up and he's very slow to react.
Well, that was another huge, just 3 great chances that Hibs have had
just
there.
Just say about Hearts at Tynecastle.
Yeah,
the thing is, you can see the patterns of play, and certainly in the game so far, Hearts look bright. They look like they've got, you know, the bit between their teeth. Obviously, Shankland scoring a goal is huge, not just for him, but it gives the team a whole lot of confidence as well. And the inevitable one being Spittle that takes up. He's such an intelligent player, picks up great positions, and then you naturally get that interchange with him and Spittle. It's good players playing off of each other. And earlier in the season, and I used to say this to you, Kenny, even last season winning games, those patterns weren't there. You didn't look at phases of play and go, oh, that's really dangerous, oh, something's going to come from that. Whereas now, okay, the results haven't been there, and there are definite deficiencies in the squad that
it's a chance, about. It's a goal for St Johnstone. It's Mackenzie Kirk that gets it. Bubble cross from the right hand side. Kind of a
defensive
strange
error.
One. You know, it was a really vicious cross, and he struggled to cope with it. The Aberdeen, who was it? Was it Rubizic?
I think so.
Struggled to cope with it, and it's kind of a come off his foot, chest, and then falling for Mackenzie Kirk, who's drilled it into the back of the net to give St Johnstone the 1-0 lead here at Pittodrie.
I could be hypercritical. I just turned up, we've got all the screens here. I just wonder, could the keeper maybe have got there a bit quicker? I don't know, or maybe been very harsh. We're waiting for that. Here we go, here's a replay. It
was a vicious cross, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was drilled in.
Chance.
Right, here we are.
Back post header.
Right, 1 wee sec, I'll
Not
just
the goalkeeper. Not the goalkeeper's fault. Rubizic has got to be better positioned. Yeah. He's got to deal with it better. He just throws his. Is it Rubizic? It is Rubizic, isn't it?
And he gets it,
clear it. It comes off his chin.
No, it's not Rubizic. Who is it?
It's McGarry. It's McGarry, isn't it?
I think it might be. I think you're right.
It was McGarry.
And you know, and that's on his left foot as well. I don't understand how it's ended up. Malloy is out in the left back area, and McGarry is more central there. I don't know, but just immediately before that, it was very scrappy, about 30-40 yards out for Aberdeen goal. You know, they were slow to losing the ball, getting it turned over, and defensively they weren't set very well. And McGarry there, he actually gets a nick on it that just takes the pace off quite nicely for Mackenzie Kirk.
Oh, he's in again. Oh, Malloy recovers in this occasion. Mackenzie Kirk in once again. Poor defending, switching off, not concentrating.
Turning into a big player, Mackenzie Kirk, for St Johnstone. I've been really impressed with him the last few times I've seen him.
Right, let me round. It's been a busy spell there. So I told you that Queen's Park are going 2-0 up at home to Airdrie. Louis Longridge with the second goal there. Confirmation. Lawrence Shankland. Will he kick on from that now?
Sorry, Kenny, can I just cut in before you get right through? I suppose Hibs have been forced into a change here at Celtic Park. Kukarevic is going to come off and Josh Campbell's going to come on. I think there's a problem, his hip flexor or something of the sorts in terms of a muscle injury. Maybe those 2 glaring chances have taken it out of him, I don't know, but he's going to make way for Campbell.
What's happened to Spittle, Alan?
It was a heavy tackle on the middle of the park, Michael.
Crossbar.
It looks like he's right.
Really good move from St Mirren.
Yeah,
Kelty picked up the ball, he played it out to McMenamin. He has a shot with his right foot and it cannons off the crossbar. St Mirren, a much better team here. They should be winning this game. Cannons right off the crossbar. As I say, Mark O'Hara picked out Kelty in the middle of the pitch. Acres of room. Motherwell's defence in midfield is really struggling at times to get to grips with the movement of the front 3 of St Mirren, but it's still 0-0.
Right, so just confirmation. Lawrence Shankland with the goal, 21 minutes. Hearts 1, Dundee 0. Annan 0, Cove Rangers 1, Declan Glass on 24 minutes. Aston Villa have gone ahead at home to Southampton. John Duran on 24 minutes. Stennismuir doubled advantage at home to Dumbarton. Aaron Steele with the second goal there. Confirmation. Mackenzie Kirk with the opening goal at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, 0. St Johnstone 1. That goal coming on 25 minutes. Elgin City have equalised away at East Fife. Mark Gallagher on 27. Montrose 1-0 at home to Inverness. Carry Thistle. Graham Webster with that goal. So what would you say about the Aberdeen?
Almost two.
On you go, Alan.
It's a drop ball. And Dundee aren't defending at all. Tony Docherty's gone mad at the fourth official. He should be going mad at his own players for not defending properly. It's a ball for Devlin as it's dropped. It plays to Wilson. Wilson cuts it back. Spittle's got his Shanklin's got his back to go. Quickly turned, save by McCracken out for a corner.
You know, the thing is, like, it's a save, he doesn't score, but see, just in terms of the brightness of Shanklin in and around the 6-yard box there, I think his all-round game's been pretty good up until the last game there. But that there has been the difference. I felt in and around the 6-yard box he's been on his heels a wee bit, whereas that looked like he was really alert on it.
That goal could be the turning point now for him.
It could be, yep.
Michael, I think Lawrence's confidence, it goes right back to the Hungary game. I think it took a huge hit.
Yep.
I think he thought he was going to play in that game, and listen, Stevie hasn't made many mistakes. I think he should have played in that game, and I think I don't think his performances have been poor. I've watched him a couple of times, but his confidence took a huge hit that day, because I think everybody wanted him to start football, man.
I think that's a very good point, because he goes into the summer and on the crest of a wave.
Michael, look at this, you'll get it now. Wait to see his work rate here. This is a free kick to Dundee. He wins it back, and Hearts have got the ball back now. Real desire and hunger from him, which he's always had.
But Alan, I was just going to say, his all-round game's been pretty good. I felt as if the Aberdeen game, things had just a wee bit, he was miscontrolling a couple of things, and it really did look like he was suffering. Great that he's got that goal the other day, but Ian makes a good point, because riding the crest of a wave off the back of an unbelievable season, and you felt like
couple of seasons.
Well, yes, but I'm just meaning in terms of like going straight into the Euros, where you're thinking he's going to have an impact, and then the whole country's disappointed with how
Chance
things
for
finished.
Celtic. Oh, how was he missed?
Yeah,
brilliant play down the right hand side again. It gets squared across to Adam Ida, and I've no idea what he does with his feet. I think it was Ida. You've got to look at it here, Michael.
It was
out of the way.
Oh dear, he's defended it so well.
Offer him a defence, Michael. Come on, slightly behind him, maybe. No.
Gaping holes in the defence though as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball gets slipped into the box. It's just gaping. I don't know who's it runs out there.
It comes almost like a kind of second phase.
I think it was Josh
corner,
Campbell.
Michael, so I don't know if there's a bit, they're a bit disorganised in terms of like their then open play positions just when it comes to the corner, and they try and reshuffle the pack. But
I think it was Josh Campbell who was on the edge of the box. He charged at Callum McGregor and just left this gaping hole.
So
check possible penalty.
The Hibs player on the ground, I think, touched it with his arm there. We'll have a look here.
It's gone. There's nothing.
It's gone.
Play's gone.
Right, okay.
But I was just going to say about Lawrence Shankland, I don't know if any of you have seen the documentary on Netflix. It's absolutely appropriate. There was a baseball player who'd signed for Philadelphia Phillies for an absolute fortune. He was apparently a star batsman. And when he signed, they thought they were going to win the World Championship.
Well, you mean they're like buses now. You better run for ages, and then two come along. 2-0, Lawrence Shankland.
Well, this is exactly the point I was going to make.
You couldn't get a bet in that.
Well, that's naughty. Have a wee look at the Motherwell game. Tackle by Shane Blaney on Killian Phillips just while Alan's describing the goal, Michael.
Right, we'll get. Oh, it looks bad. We'll get a close up of that. I mean,
this guy couldn't get. He couldn't hit the ball, and all of a sudden the crowd were booing him. And then this guy said, "Look, he needs some love." And they started cheering him, and from that point on he went on the best run of form he'd ever had in his career.
Through and goal. Liam Scales has defended it really well.
We should do that in here.
A bit of love.
A bit of love.
Come on, mate. Will you start us off? Say something nice to Tom.
I love you, Mikey.
I'm saying something nice to Lawrence Shankland.
That'll do for now.
And I think that 2 goals in this game.
That's brilliant.
And by the way, that's not the greatest strike. Kicks into the ground a bit. It's in the back of the net, and the confidence will be soaring.
Well, Ian, speak to us. You worked obviously very closely with him. What sort of character is Lawrence Shankland? How much will this run have affected him?
Well, it does. He's quite a. He's quite a deep boy, to be honest, and I watched him against St Johnstone. He looked to me like he was trying too hard. I know the boys are saying about his work rate and stuff. I think sometimes
off the crossbar.
Of course, you work Sorry, I feel so
crossbar
what
for St Johnson.
Strange noise.
Lewis Nielsen.
Crossbar.
Lewis Nielsen. He's just dinked the ball. The centre back just dinks the ball over the top of Duhan, and it comes off the face of the crossbar. I'll tell you what, St Johnson are playing some wonderful football at this moment in time. Obviously getting that goal's giving them a huge lift, and very pretty to watch, and that was a great opportunity, well taken, and a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, that's for sure. Brentford 2-up now at home to Newcastle. Visa with a goal on 28 minutes. Man City have equalised away at Crystal Palace. Erling Haaland on 30 and confirmation. The double for Lawrence Shanklin. 2-0 the lead Dundee. Newcastle back in level terms very quickly away at Brentford. Harvey Barnes with that goal. So Willie, talk to us about this Aberdeen performance this afternoon. Is it a bit different than what you've seen in recent weeks?
It seems to be lacking energy, yeah. It's a very slow build-up play. I suppose when you look at it, Kenny, St Johnson are folding back and basically giving Aberdeen the ball, and they haven't really been used to that. Jimmy Talleen likes to hit very swiftly in the counter, but they haven't had too many opportunities to do that. So it's been a struggle for them to try to break St Johnson down. And I think that is making it look as though they don't have that energy. You've got Morris again. He starts these games, he doesn't have the same impact. He's definitely an impact sub when he comes on. Maybe the legs of the opposition are a little bit tired, and he goes for the byline. Just now he's been well defended against.
He was good at Tynecastle when he started, though.
Yeah, was he? I didn't see that. I had to turn round.
He was pretty good at Tynecastle, I've got to say. But on the whole, he's had a huge impact. The big thing for me with Aberdeen is you look at this time of the year. There's a lot more midweek games. They've not had on that early part of the season too many midweek games. Now there's more and more coming. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, he's having a wee dig. Another wee dig there.
I'm just happy.
No, and you're a very Willie.
It's just brilliant to hear you being happy, Alan.
Yes,
it really
we're
is. I'm telling you.
Michael, get a wee second look at this challenge just on Jordan Avita if you can. It was Alistair Johnson. I don't think there was much more in it than potentially a yellow card, but the Hibs dugout not happy about it at all. He goes down, he kind of hits the ground with some force. The two players look to me like they're just going to challenge for the ball. Johnson perhaps just been a bit heavy with the contact.
Still not sure the replay.
No, Avita's down though, kind of treating it as a head. No, I do think he's okay though. It took him a second or two. He's sitting up now.
They're just showing the referee speaking to him. They're still not showing anything.
No, there's no booking for Johnson either. I think the referees just viewed it as a coming together.
Clyde 1, Peterhead 0, Robbie Leach on 34 minutes. Who's looking the more likely at Tannadice, Ian McCall?
Well, I mean, it's Stephen Stevens now. I won't slag the game too much because it is a really, really difficult day to play football. The distances are still miles too big between the Kilmarnock midfield and the back three. I mean, Dundee United have been dominant, but the closest we came was after a couple of minutes when it was Sam Dalby that hit the inside of the post. Since then, a lot of long throws. Kyle Vassell looks promising, he looks strong, he looks reasonably quick actually, but no goals to report, unfortunately.
And in Paisley, Rory Loy, Stuart Kettlewell looking for a reaction from his Motherwell players this afternoon. Has he seen one?
No, he hasn't. As Ian saying, it's difficult conditions up in Dundee. It's not particularly difficult conditions here. It's a wee bit windy, but nothing that should mean the players can't get the ball down in play. St Mirren have done that a lot better. They've not peppered the goal. They've not been all over Motherwell in terms of creating chances, but they've been the much better side. Motherwell 4-4-2, changing from back three, so they're playing a 4-4-2. Halliday and Miller in the middle of the pitch are getting overrun slightly. Miller wants to sit deep and take the ball, and then you're relying on Halliday getting up and down the pitch, which isn't his forte really. And Killian Phillips and Mark O'Hara, good athletes in the middle of the pitch, are just kind of running things for St Mirren in terms of the legs in there, and then they're getting the ball up and they're causing a few problems. As I said, they've not knocked down the door or anything like that, but Motherwell really poor. Kettle will be very disappointed, I think, by the performance so far.
Mikey, you're talking about the games in midweek. Do you think that we should give these modern day players that excuse? When most clubs are full of sports scientists and certainly large pools. Do you really think that at this time of the season that should be an excuse for these players?
I'm giving an example of how I feel the difference in Aberdeen's performances. And Brendan Rodgers referenced it himself. You think back to the game at Celtic Park, and it was a wee bit of a dig when Aberdeen came back to get 2-2, and he was talking about, I would like to get what's the effect of a full week's preparation for the game. And then, and I'm guaranteed that when the semi-final came around, he was adamant, and I said at the time he'd rested a few people midweek. Aberdeen had ended up playing Rangers that midweek in the cup game, the league game, and it was one of the first occasions where they'd actually had a midweek game. Now they won it, but then just taking that slight edge off Aberdeen's performance, which is full of energy. That's what typifies Aberdeen's performances. So regardless of whether it's early in the season or late in the season, if you're doing something with greater frequency, it's going to have an impact and take the edge off slightly, because they don't have what you would regard as a massive squad. They've got a few players they can move around, but it's not a massive squad that you can rotate 4 or 5 players.
They can, Nigel. I say they can rotate
but I'm talking about when you're playing Rangers and then Celtic.
I'm talking about the basis of what you're saying. Is it, should we give them that excuse? Should we give the modern day footballer, take away the Aberdeen situation, the excuse?
I don't think it's an excuse though.
You're putting it as a reason why they can't play two games in a week.
No,
I just think
they can.
They might still win this game.
They can. No, they might still. They can. Of course, they can do it. But I'm saying,
big chance right across the face of the goal for Aberdeen. Nobody there to take it. Leighton Clarkson, free kick from the right hand side, well delivered, but somebody's got to get on the end of it.
I'm saying of course they can do it, but there's a slight drop off, and a slight drop off makes a huge difference for the likes of Aberdeen, because that is all about their game, that intensity. If you take an edge off of that, then it materially, and what you're looking at is a huge impact, especially when you're playing against the more difficult teams, and you're like they've had 3 games away from home here. You know, when you're adding in all those little bits, they're all contributing factors. I'm not saying that one alone is the reason why, but when you add them all in, that's perhaps what brings you to the situation.
But I don't think that should be a reason. I don't think they should get an excuse.
No. It's not an excuse though, Kenny. It's not, Willie. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just thinking that is a factor. I think that is a factor.
It's not when you played 150 games a season, Willie, with only 12 men.
But you look at the composition of the Aberdeen teams in the league this season. There's been, up until the last couple of weeks, there's been 8, maybe 9 guaranteed starters in every single game. So there's a lot of physical burden on these guys.
It was a bit like Wraith Rovers last year.
So you're at it as well,
Tom. It's not sustainable to score late goals all the time.
Yeah, you're not going to get all the late goals.
That's not going to happen throughout a season. I'm not saying they might not win today. Of course they might win today. Yeah. But the amount of late goals they got to get draws or to get wins, it was very reminiscent of Wraith Rovers. And Wraith Rovers were clear at the top, 4 or 5 points, but they were never going to keep that up, because history tells you just don't.
Well, speaking of Wraith Rovers, let's get to their game. They're away at Falkirk this afternoon. Steve McGinn, you were saying earlier on, not a typical Falkirk performance today.
It is now, Kenny. Wraith Rovers have lost their captain. They've lost their right back Dabble, both to injury. Kai Montague and Lewis Stevenson coming on, but since then Ethan Ross moved out to the left wing, and Wraith are just hanging in till half time. Falkirk have had numerous chances. They're hoping to be back in the Premier League. I think if they're in the Premier League next season, they would get a penalty from VAR. Lewis Stevenson's legs just tangled with Ethan Ross as he made his way into the box, and it was a stonewall penalty for me. But Wraith need to get to half time here.
Well, we'll chat a wee bit about VAR later in the programme. So there were some interesting decisions last week. Elsewhere, Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1 with a goal. On you go, Conor Young with a goal. On you go.
Referee's just shown a yellow card. I missed actually who it was. Engels, is it? Yeah, just late on Joe Newell. I'm following the ball just as the ball moved away from the incident, but just in case it looks like there's maybe a wee bit more to it. I don't know how high up the contact was.
Well, it's interesting. You could potentially give a free kick. I don't think it's a booking. I was exactly the same as Julian, and there's no force though.
I think Tom's not sure.
I think it's a yellow card.
I think he's going across to make the challenge. He's on his feet.
There's a VAR check for a possible red, but I'm going to go with your opinion here.
I think red would be red.
I mean, I think it's even borderline for a yellow, to be perfect, because
it's not been a great week.
We've seen some bonkers ones in the last 7 days.
There's no force.
Motherwell are going to get their first sight of goal here. Free kick in a really good position. They've not had a shot, never mind a shot on target so far, but they're going to get a sight of goal. Lennon Miller and Andy Halliday standing over it.
Check over.
About 20 yards out, and it looks like a left footer to me. He might take it, but this is was Motherwell's first and only opportunity of the half.
Right, chance.
Nah, it was a lovely move by Hearts, and eventually it goes to Penrice, and for the first time I think this season,
you can't leave that, Mackenzie.
Cross is poor.
Gee whiz.
Willie, what's happening?
Aberdeen. I mean, it's just a long ball over the top of the two centre backs. You leave it to each other. Mackenzie Kirk's nearly onto it. A little bit more pace, and he's going
How much do you hate that, Willie?
Bring
What's
back
that?
Neil Warner, cause forgiven.
Steady, Alan, steady. Come on.
One ball beating two centre backs.
One juggernaut for
Shouldn't
sale,
happen.
Willie.
Shouldn't happen. One ball beating
That
two
shouldn't happen, you're
centre-backs.
right.
Right, Clyde 2, Peterhead 0, Liam Scullion, Kelty, Hearts 0, Al Athletic 1, Luke Donnelly in 39, Montrose 2-0 up now against Inverness, Cardiff Thistle, Blair Lions in 38 minutes, Edinburgh City 2-0 up now away to Stirling Albion, Dylan Wells in 39. Peterhead have pulled a goal back very quickly, Andy McCarthy, Clyde 2, Peterhead 1. Just as we approach half-time, Alan brought this up earlier on, Leanne, the Scotland women's national team.
Yep.
Pedro Martinez Losa, where do you stand on him? He has failed to qualify for 2 tournaments. Have you seen progression? Is it time for change?
Look, I think it doesn't matter whether you see progression or not. I kind of spoke about it in the podcast through the week. I think the women's game, we strive all the time for equity, equality, and that's got to come with criticism as well. You can't just pick and choose what part of the game, and the remit of a national team manager is to get you to major tournaments, and if you're not getting the team to major tournaments, then something needs to change. So look, it's a conversation. I don't know where the manager will sit. I don't know how he'll feel about his position moving forward. They've got a really difficult Nations League campaign. They've probably got a number of players that will review their international futures at this stage as well, which is going to be really tough for them moving forward. So it might just be now that there's an opportunity to go and revamp the squad and look to bring a couple of the younger players through and progress a couple of the players for the 19s who are doing really well, and look at it as a development opportunity now, because I think that's where this squad are now at. I don't think in this campaign that's where they were at, because there was still a number of the players that were part of that golden generation, if you like, that had qualified for back-to-back tournaments in 2017 and 2019. So look, I think it's got to be a conversation, because you can't get away from the scrutiny. That's the reality. As I say, that's the remit of a national team manager, is to get the team to a major tournament. They've come up against Ireland in the last campaign that they failed, which was a winnable tie, and they've come up against Finland in this campaign in a playoff game, which is a winnable tie, and an expectation that the players and the manager should be getting to major tournaments, and they've not done that.
Yeah, I mean, to lose against Ireland, and Ireland were very, very average, I felt, at Hampden.
Which has shown, Tom, with the campaign just now as well, because Wales have put them out.
Yep.
You know, Wales have stopped them qualifying for their first ever Euros, so that shows you the inconsistency of that Ireland side as well.
And Finland are below Scotland in the rankings, I believe, aren't they? Is it 23?
Yeah, they're below us,
yeah.
So, like, that's two bad failures, and I would imagine at Hampden they'll let the dust settle, and then we'll get a
they got a new deal, didn't they?
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Is it not a shock to get a new 4-year contract? Is there not a lot of people shocked at the timing of that?
Yeah, you know, I don't know why that was. I mean, he was asked about it the other night, and his words were that he had signed a new contract for different reasons, so I'm not entirely sure what those different reasons were, whether that was the SFA feeling like they were safeguarding his position or vice versa.
Did he justify it, Leanne? You mystified by that decision to give him a new deal, whatever the reasons are. If you look at the football sense,
because you've come off the back of a failed campaign, you know. So I don't think had Steve Clarke had the same, you know, failure, that he would have been rewarded with an extension to his current deal. So
half time at Pittodrie, 1-0.
Look, it'll be interesting to see where they go. I want nothing more than the national team to get through, and by the way, not to take away, the under-19s were outstanding in the qualification group as well in the same week, and beating teams like Sweden as well, I think, are landmark results for the youth national team. So for me, the 17s and 19s and the glimpses that I've seen of the 23 squad when they come together in terms of looking to bridge that gap from 19s to A squad is there, and it's a work in progress, and I think there's loads of bright sparks coming through. So we need to find a way to nurture that, and as I say, get them to major tournaments, because that's where you get to showcase the talent of the nation, and it's how you grow the game. Because for 3 failed campaigns now, you know, we've stumbled and we've halted, and the money doesn't come into the game either. You know, it's a huge impact not to be getting to major tournaments while other nations start to pull away. It's getting more and more difficult every year.
I mean, I'd be surprised if in a couple of months when the dust is settled, we don't get a statement saying that the manager has been moved on. But saying that too, I think the players need to take a whole lot more responsibility for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all very well talking the talk and saying, you know, the level that they play at. Some of them play at top clubs, which they do, and how good they are individually. As a team, they've been a failure.
Is it a happy camp, Leanne?
Do you know what, Michael? I don't know. I'm not close enough to it, and I tend not to pry with the girls that I am. Chance for Celtic, what a save. I wonder if Ida was offside. Right enough, get a look at this, Michael. Point blank save. Smith does really well.
Oh, aye.
Great chance.
Yeah. I don't
Celtic
know.
Still
don't know if he's offside.
pressuring the ball. Claims for a penalty at the back here as well from Maida. Don't think there's much in it. Chance for Hibs. Here we go, 1-on-1. Johan against Johnson. Johnson wins the foot race. Well, that just shows you how quick he is up against Johan as well.
Just watch that. Alistair Johnson did brilliantly there, didn't he?
Yeah, he does really well.
To be fair, I mean, he is quick and he's determined. That's the big thing. But the ball was just arcing ever so slightly into his
in
path.
his favour,
yeah.
Right, okay, so you think a decision they'll take a couple of months?
I don't think you can. I don't, as a manager, I don't think you can survive this. This is two brilliant opportunities, as Leanne says, two eminently winnable games against the Republic of Ireland and Finland, and they've failed both times. I don't think you get a third opportunity. You shouldn't anyway. But the players need to step up. It's all very well them, going on television and saying how upset they are and crying. They need to do it, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, it was certainly very poor. And
Ida was onside there, by the way.
Was he?
He was onside.
Yeah, so it was a good save.
Big chance.
What would you make of this Celtic performance? It's been a strange one. They've conceded an awful lot of chances, yet they're in front, Leanne.
No, it's been untidy, Kenny. It's been an untidy performance, and I think that'll be David Gray's message to his players at half-time, is that they're going in 1-0 down, but they should be in front in this game. They've had 3 brilliant chances. Yes, Celtic have had chances, I think, that have not come out of nothing, but it doesn't look like it's been, the way that they normally play. It's almost just been a wee ricochet. It's ended up, even that move from Ida, it's a bit scrappy. The ball kind of lands at his feet. But for me, Hibs have certainly had the better chances in the counter-attack, which you would expect them to do. And I just think that out of possession bit that Celtic have been so good. They've looked really organised. Carter Vickers is a massive difference when he comes out the side. When you look at the balance between Trusty and Scales there today, it's just not there. The communication, the distances.
That was a good strike from Engels there. And I think it just starts to give you a flavour of confidence just starting to come back in. Managing the situation well, taking him out for a few games and just taking that spotlight off a little bit and allowing him the space to grow again. He's got his goal. It's another good strike. I said to you last week, the attributes are there. We've seen what he can do. Yeah.
And the beauty with Celtic, though, Michael, is that you can afford to do that.
Absolutely.
You make that type of signing. Other teams don't have that same resource. That you make big signings and you can take them out of the team and allow them a couple of games and certainly manage that expectation. Half time at Celtic Park, Celtic 1, Hibernian 0.
Yeah, you think for the Hibs fans there today and the Hibs fans tuned in to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, I think there have been a lot of positives in that first half, albeit they're behind at Celtic Park. I think that was expected. But my goodness, there was some really good clear-cut chances.
There was this on the cusp, though, because it's one of those. Second half, they need to do the same, but make sure they don't concede another. Say for example that game ends up 4 or 5-0. That is really on a knife edge as to whether you can take positives or not.
That's a good point. We'll get some, not from a Hibs fan, I think, later, but actually the voice notes, Tom, and we're going to punt this later on because we want people giving us some reaction. We'll wait till full time to see where the stories are. People want to come in and congratulate their team for doing really well or have a go at the manager, whatever it is, but it's important to give the fans a voice. We'll have fans on the phone, but there is now this voice note option, and it's worked really well for us. It's great to hear the fans, particularly when they've just come out of the ground.
Yeah, it's exactly real time. Emotions still running high, elation or dejection running high. And we've got some interesting contributions, and even after 45 minutes today.
Is this your personal mobile number they're leaving voice?
Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be good?
St Johnstone fans will be thrilled at the moment. Aberdeen fans, the wheels are coming off the bike here. This is not a game I expected them to win. They might still win it. I didn't expect this.
I'm just looking at that goal.
Lawrence Shankton is the man of the half, Lawrence Shankton.
I'm just looking at that goal at Pittodrie again. That is an absolute calamity. I said it before about in the middle of the park. There's 3 players, Rubizic, Shinnie and Nelson, all like standing next to the ball, and in the end Nielsen tries to flick a ball around the corner, gives the possession away, then gets slipped out wide and the ball's thrown in and McGarry doesn't deal with it correctly. That is a collective calamity from Aberdeen defensively with that goal.
We'll get more from Willie on that. We'll get all the half-time reports. We'll give you the latest scores across the country. Stay tuned to Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. We're with you right through until 7 o'clock.
All the grounds, all the goals, all the news.
This is Open All Mics from Sportsound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
The Scottish League Cup final lives here next weekend.
Huge scenes of celebration away to our left here at the National Stadium.
Rangers are looking to retain the trophy.
Their hopes and dreams of keeping hold of the League Cup go on.
But Celtic, who were rampant in reaching the final, stand in their way.
Celtic are the brilliant best tonight, thumping Aberdeen.
It's the Scottish League Cup final. Celtic
Kyogo will score!
versus Rangers.
And Rangers have turned it around!
Next Sunday afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A commentary match this afternoon comes from the east end of Glasgow. Celtic at home to Hibs. Let's hear from Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
Well, Celtic lead 1-0 after an early goal from Arne Engels after good work by Kuhn and Johnston, but that doesn't tell the whole story. It came on 6 minutes, but it came after Mikola Kukarevic had spurned a magnificent opportunities one-on-one with Kasper Schmeichel. He shot at the Celtic goalkeeper who made the save with the boot, but really it was a chance that Kukarevic should have taken. And again, it's just another example of not taking your opportunities when they come against the Celtic side. We saw Aberdeen pay a heavy price for that during the week. Hibs paid a price with Engels opening the scoring not too long after Nicky Cadden had also tested the Celtic goalkeeper. Then Joe Newland, 17 minutes, spurned another glorious chance just round about the penalty spot. He skied it high over the bar, perhaps slipped as he was doing so, to be fair to him, but another opportunity it was for Hibernian. Kukarevic was in again, had another dreadful touch this time, which allowed Schmeichel to make the save. It should have been a shot rather than the touch that he took, and allowed the Celtic goalkeeper to save. Kukarevic then came off injured, replaced by Campbell, who was in as well. Long balls causing Celtic problems at the heart of their defence this afternoon. That's going to be a concern for Brendan Rodgers. Right at the end of the half there, Jordan Smith's made two excellent saves from Ida and from Engels as well. But there was another opportunity for Hibs as they drove forward with Ellie Johan. Johnston did so well to get back to prevent the pacey Hibs player getting in behind and getting a chance to have another shot on the Celtic goal. And Paquet, although they're in front, Brendan Rodgers will be far from satisfied with what he's seen in that first half.
Well, listen, it's the full-backs have been allowed to just push forward and they're leaving huge spaces, and Hibs know that, so they've exploited it really well. And those big chances you've described, Liam, you know, on another day you would expect them at least to score one of those chances. But still, and then when they lose the goal, I thought it was a poor goal, poor defensive goal for them to lose. But from Celtic's perspective, they're not complaining. 1-0 up, maybe could have been 2 with McCowan off that one off the crossbar, and that Celtic just desperate to get the second goal just to settle them down, but they're always looked vulnerable.
Yeah, McCowan did have that opportunity. It just broke to him and it just bounced off the top of the crossbar. Not too many saves to make by Jordan Smith until those ones in first half stoppage time. It's been an entertaining game that Celtic lead, but Hibs are still in. Celtic 1, Hibernian 0 at the break.
Full second half commentary to come from Celtic against Aberdeen with Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod. Leanne Crichton will bring us all the news on Open All Mics. Let's get to Pittodrie. Potentially a big shock on the cards there. Aberdeen at home to St Johnstone. Let's hear from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, half time it's Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1, and the scoreline reflects the play actually. Aberdeen, they've had many poor first 45 minutes this season and managed to turn it round in the second half, and they're going to have to do the same here. St Johnstone have laid down a gauntlet to them. They basically fold very quickly, St Johnstone, and go back into their own half and allow Aberdeen, and in particular the two centre backs and even Nielsen at times, to go back and try to build up the play, and it just isn't working. It's a very poor use of the ball from them. Going forward, Shade Morris is doing very little. He's had 1 or 2 runs towards the byline. He's been well marshalled throughout. Jim McGrath is non-existent. Kevin Nisbet has had no service whatsoever. So it's a first half where only Clarkson in the midfield looks of quality, and for the home side they went into a chorus of boos at half time, which is unusual this season. Many seasons have passed where it's been expected, but not this season. For St Johnstone, they're playing really nice football. As I say, very compact defensively, strong, and not allowing Aberdeen any space whatsoever. But when they get the ball, they're capable of keeping it for long spells, and they have done. They've created chances, they've created opportunities. They got the goal in 25 minutes when Mackenzie Kirk managed to get on the 6-yard line as the ball came in from the right hand side. It wasn't dealt with by McGarry, threw his boot out. It came off his boot and his chin and landed for Mackenzie Kirk to just slot into the back of the net. They had another opportunity when Lewis Nielsen inside the box, just inside the box. He's looked up and he sees Doohan off his line, and he tries to just clip it over the top of the goalkeeper. Looked as though it was going to nestle in the top corner, but it came off the bar instead. And then Kirk again almost in, just a long ball over the top of Aberdeen's two centre backs who haven't been at their best, Rubizic and Malloy. And a little bit fortunate that if he had a little bit more, another yard of pace, he would have been in on goal. So as far as the play is concerned, St Johnstone at half time go in with a deserved lead, 1-0 up, and Jimmy Tillene has got to turn it round in the second half. I'd imagine that changes for the home side would be on the card.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Next stop, Tynecastle. Hearts at home to Dundee. Let's hear from Alan Preston.
Their Hearts lead by 2-0 at half time, and it's been all Hearts in that opening 45 minutes. Kenny Penrice has been excellent on the left hand side. 7 minutes, his cross. Wilson ran across the front post, he missed it. There was Musa Drama at the back, just couldn't get his effort on target. It went wide. It was 1-0 in 21 minutes. Spittle had a really good hit from about 30 yards. McCracken pushed it out wide right. Hearts recycled the ball. Penrice's cross, and there was Shanklin with a looping header to score his second goal. In 25 minutes, Penrice corner, Halkett header just over the bar. 27 minutes, again it was really good play by Hearts. Devlin into Wilson to Shanklin. He quickly turned, but his shot was saved by McCracken. But it was 2-0 and 2 for Lawrence Shanklin in 31 minutes. Again, brilliant cross from Penrice. McCracken palmed it out, and there was Shanklin who hit into the ground, into the back of the net. Dundee have been really poor, not a shot on target, and I expect changes at half-time from Tony Docherty's men. The half-time score, Hearts 2, Dundee 0.
Thanks to Alan Preston. Sounds like it hasn't been a classic through in Paisley. St Mirren home to Motherwell. The half-time report from Rory Loy.
Yeah, it hasn't been a classic by any stretch of the imagination. However, St Mirren have had good passages of play and good spells in the match without really knocking down the door. The best chance they had was when Conor McMenamin hit the crossbar on 28 minutes. It was Greg Kelty who picked up a good position between Motherwell's defence and midfield. He slipped in a pass to McMenamin, who rattled the crossbar from about 10 yards just on the angle, and it went flying over the bar. He had a chance earlier on in the game as well, McMenamin, when he tried to catch the goalkeeper out, Oxborough. However, Oxborough was equal to it at the front post. On 33 minutes, Gogic had a header from O'Hara, free kick straight at Oxborough, before in the 44th minute Motherwell struck their first ball in anger. It was from a free kick which flashed wide of the post. A free kick was given anyway, so Dundee no shots on target at Tynecastle. Motherwell no shots on target in Paisley. Hopefully the second half here is better.
Let's hope so. Thanks to Rory Loy. Next up, Tannadice. Dundee United at home to Kilmarnock. Let's get the half-time thoughts of Ian McCall.
No goals at Tannadice. Dundee United obviously started far better. So, before the report, it's a really difficult day to play any type of football. But after 2 minutes, the best chance of the first half came. Sam Dalby got on the end of a Ryan Strain cross and hit the inside of the post. Probably should have scored. A minute later, Bruce Anderson, I felt, had a really decent chance at the first, at the near post. Kind of scuffed his shot. After that, it was mostly Kilmarnock, but Ryan Strain should have scored, but he was clearly offside. We could see it from here, and that, as usual, the linesman puts his flag up later on and calls it offside. Kevin Holt had a decent header after 22 minutes. After that, it's coming down to long throws and set plays. I think for Dundee United, I think Babunski can get on the ball and do a lot more, because there's a lot of space to play as a 10. And as a matter of what pair of wing backs are going to get highest up the pitch, Not a great game, poor conditions, looking for more in the second half. It's 0-0 at Tannadice.
Thanks to Ian in the Premiership. Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1, Celtic 1, Hibs 0, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 2, Dundee 0, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. We're covering one game in the Championship this afternoon. The leaders Falkirk at home to Wraith Rovers. Let's hear from Stephen McGinn.
Yeah, it's 1-0 here to the home side. Wraith Rovers started really well in the game, Kenny, but Falkirk counter-attacked. Ethan Ross found Alfie Agaman and Paul Hanlon just cut it out, but it seemed to really rock Wraith Rovers, and within 30 seconds the ball was out wide for Calvin Miller, who put it in an absolute plate for Alfie Agaman. Wraith Rovers have since lost their captain Scott Brown, they've lost their right back Dabo, and they've really not recovered. Falkirk have really kicked on. The numerous chances, I thought they might have had a penalty, a foul from Lewis Stevenson on Ethan Ross, who has been the main man every time he gets the ball. Ethan Ross, first against Dabo and then against Stevenson. He's been a real threat, having a brilliant season. And Wraith Rovers, I've seen the coaching staff congregate. They have to come out and change something, because it's all one-way traffic at this point.
Good stuff, thanks to Stephen McGinn. Elsewhere in the Championship, Dunfermline 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Morton 0, Livingston 0, Partick Thistle 0, Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 2, Airdrie 0. In League 1, Annan Athletic 0, Cove Rangers 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Montrose 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Stenishmuir 2, Dumbarton 0, Dumbarton down to 10 men. 5:30 start are both at home to Queen of the South. In League 2, the match between Bonnyrigg Rose and Spartans, that was postponed this morning. Clyde 2, Peterhead 1, East Fife 1, Elgin City 1, Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 2, and in England, the Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool, that was also postponed. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, Brentford 2, Newcastle United 2, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 1. 5:30 start, Manchester United at home to Nottingham Forest. We're just waiting for the teams to come back out at Celtic Park. Willie, I see you're back underway there at Pittodrie. Some changes? I think I was seeing that.
I thought there might have been
yes.
1 or 2, but maybe not 3.
Right.
So Jimmy Tilleen's made 3 changes. Devlin comes on, Palaversa and Duke. So Devlin goes to right back and Jack Milne goes over to left back, because McGarry is off. Nielsen has been hooked along with, well, we did say that at the beginning of the programme, didn't we, that Shade Morris doesn't always turn it on when he starts a game, and he's been invited to take an early shower as well. So 3 changes from Jimmy Tilleen. I think that tells its own story, doesn't it? He's not happy with the performance. Fans are not happy with the performance. It's lacklustre, it's lacking energy, creativity, it's lacking everything that they've shown for most of this season. So the changes were justified.
Yeah, and they usually work, to be fair to the Aberdeen manager. Let's see what happens there. Just back underway for yourself at Tynecastle, and I've seen the pictures coming in there, and Tony Docherty waiting on the match officials. He had some strong words with them there. Was there anything obvious, Alan?
Just a corner last minute.
Right.
It was a corner. Ayagoki knocked it out, and the referee gave a by kick, and that was it, because clearly wanting a corner last minute. But Tony was going ballistic in front of me.
Honest to goodness, I suppose that just
He's
shows
made
what
2
managers
changes,
are like.
as I
Right,
said, Kenny.
okay.
So Robertson's gone off, Eddie Woomy's gone off as well, and then come Ingram and Simon Murray, who I expected Simon Murray to play today, but anyway, he's on now.
Good stuff. OK, a choice of listening once again on Sports. And for commenters, Celtic against Hibs, tuned to digital, 810 medium wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds. And you can follow all the action live online, bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
That's golden goal! Absolutely tremendous.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. We've heard from Alan Preston, we've heard from Willie Miller. Let's get to Tannadice. Either manager making the changes there, Ian?
No changes shape either. No, I thought there might be. Here's a real good chant. No, Sam Dalby, too many touches. Oh!
Yes.
Louis Moulton's just missed one from a yard. Well, it came across really, really fast, and I think it's just tickled just past the near post across from Adebayo. That would have been the opening goal. I think he probably should do better, but it came at real pace.
Yeah, it did come at him very quickly, Michael, didn't it? It was a decent opportunity. It just looks a really tight game up there at Tannadice.
Yeah, Louis Malt's probably just in line with around about the post that gets fizzed at him, and he's just trying to guide it on target. He does it with his left foot.
It looks like he gets too much contact.
He does. That's exactly it, and it just slides past the post. It sounds a lot easier than it actually was once you see it.
Yeah,
it wasn't as easy an opportunity as you would have expected, or when you hear that.
In the context of this game, it was a really good opportunity.
Ian, if Kelly looked a bit flat today?
I thought they started really nervously. I mean, I think they've grown into the game. I thought for the last 20 minutes of the first half it's pretty even, but you know, there's really not a lot of football getting played, and you know, they're certainly not getting the wider players on the ball high enough up the pitch. It's a battle to see who can get higher. I mean, they both went with two strikers, just not being used particularly well. It could go either way though. Kelly are looking a little bit better now, but obviously not playing with a huge amount of confidence, to be honest.
What's happening in the early stages of the second half in Paisley, Rory Loy?
A really top save from Oxborough is what's happening, Kenny. Really good play again from McMenamin. He's probably been the best player on the pitch. It's lacked quality at times, but he's certainly shown an abundance when he's had the ball, and he cut in from the right hand side onto his left foot, and he smacked one that looked destined for the top corner, but a really good save from an outstretched Oxborough to push it over for a corner. So bright start to the second half from St Mirren, but it remains 0-0. No changes at all.
You're back underway, Leanne, at Celtic Park?
Yeah, back underway, and there was one change for Celtic at half time. Nicholas Kuhn came off and replaced by James Forrest over in that right hand side, literally just within the first minute of the second half, so nothing much to report.
Yeah, it's a big second half you feel for Hibs, Leanne, as Michael was touching on there. All the good work of that first half, where they did create some great chances, that could be wiped out if they go back to their old way, certainly defensively in the second period.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think you would want to have a game of two halves. I think you're looking for consistency, you're striving for consistency, and I agree with Michael at the top of the show in terms of it not being a free hit. My point just about it defining their season is the result alone won't define their season, but you don't want to go and ship a barrel load of goals. Certainly the first half performance merited more than getting a goal down. They've put an awful lot into the game, but you know the reinforcements that Celtic have got as well, and the quality that they can bring off the bench as well. They'll throw everything at Hibs, and it's up to them to find the answers, and you know, David Gray will be looking for them to find the back of the net. Chance for Celtic though. Straight down.
Goal Tannadice, or is it offside?
Oh, right.
Sorry, Leanne.
Not all good.
So the goal, it's a goal for United as things stand, Dean. We're waiting for a...
Well, I think it looked offside from up here. We're not a great angle. The rest given offside, but I take it VAR will have a look at it.
It's Adebayo again. He obviously came up.
Adebayo, yeah.
Back post.
Came up with one at home last week against St Mirren as well.
Right, so we're just waiting for a replay to come into the studio here, Michael. The ball whipped in from the right. I saw that, and then Adebayo got the back post, but was he in front? And a couple of actually Kilmarnock players down there as well, and the keeper and one of the defenders.
Yeah, we can't see what. It might be, is it Lewis? No, Lewis Mayo's there. It might be Robbie Dees. It might be down, and it's the last thing Derek needs is to lose another centre back.
Right, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, very close.
Oh,
very close.
Unlucky for Shanklin there. Really good play by him again. You see the confidence coming back.
Yeah.
Goes by two players on his left foot, tries to dink the keeper just over the top of the crossbar.
Right.
Offside, guys.
Offside.
Has it been given, Ian?
No, I'm just wondering.
It's difficult to see. It's hard. It's one of the smaller screens that we've got. It's a wide angle, very difficult to say definitively. Tight, very tight. I'm just looking at that chance for Lawrence Shankland, and Alan's spot on. You can just see the confidence is flowing back.
He looks a different player, doesn't he?
Confidence is flowing back into him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see that certainly from a national team perspective. He's a quality striker, Lawrence Shankland. I know we had a chat, one of the Hearts fans that joined us last week, about some of the abuse that had been taken certainly for that European away game, and certainly that Hearts
Chance.
fan. Yeah.
Oh, good save again. It's a second phase off a corner. Callum McGregor picks the ball up on the right hand side. The ball's delivered in.
Save.
Smith makes a save.
Oh, what a dreadful error.
Good save after.
Good save.
How would you describe that?
Aye. Creating problems so he can fix them.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's exactly it.
We're still waiting at Tannadice, Ian.
I think the referee's not given the goal, and players been waved on, so it's a goal kick for Kilmarnock.
Yeah,
goal disallowed.
Yeah, we didn't get a good look at that, but that could have been a huge moment for both clubs. And I think it's fair to say, and we touched on it earlier, you covered the game at Ibrox. It's been a fantastic start to the season for Jim Goodwin and Dundee United.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and they're another team that have managed to score 1 or 2 late goals. And they've got 2 or 3 really decent, I think Dalby coming in offers him a real physical option. When I did the game at Ibrox, I couldn't believe the size of him, and he's a decent player, decent touch, and he's a real handful in the box. And you know, the size he is in Scotland makes him a giant. There's a chance. No, great cross from Innes Murray, I think.
Willie Miller, thank you. Willie Miller, you were at Tannadice last weekend. No surprise, I'm sure, to you and certainly to Tom and Michael, who were in full agreement in the studio last week. 4 wrong decisions overturned by the SFA review panel over the past week. So the Marcus Fraser challenge that gave away the penalty should not have been a red. The United keeper Jack Walton should have been shown a red card in the same game. Just elsewhere, the Aberdeen defender Jack Milne should have been shown a red against Hearts, and Rangers should have had a penalty against St Johnstone. The one that just I keep going back to, Willie, was that Jack Walton one. It was quite early in the game. It was a big moment, but I hadn't heard anyone, Willie, including yourself, who saw it from a fair distance away, in any doubt about what that decision should have been. It's incredible that they got that one wrong.
Yeah, it was, and it's good to see them. What's a chance? It's a goal for Aberdeen. It's Leighton Clarkson that finishes it. Duke comes on at half-time, shows the old pace down the left-hand side, hits the byline, cuts it back. Leighton Clarkson, who was the player of the first 45 minutes for Aberdeen, slots into the back of the net to give Aberdeen the equaliser. So a really good and well-worked goal, and something that Aberdeen needed. So Jimmy Talleen once again makes the changes at half-time, and they bear fruit.
It's a similar one that happened at Tynecastle as well. It was down the other side, but similar in regards to Clarkson just timing his run into the box very well. You know, he's in behind the midfield, not getting in tight against the defence. Exactly the same in regards to the area of the park that he's in. Nobody's picking him up, and he does really well. It's a lovely ball from Palaversa there. He whips it out to Duke. That's a good goal from Aberdeen.
Nice goal.
Really good goal. Palaversa with a really positive, penetrative pass. Good positive play from Duke to go and take the defender on, and Clarkson timing his run into the box. That's a really good all-round goal from Aberdeen, and much needed.
Yeah, coming on 56 minutes. Also in 56 minutes, Dunfermline, Matty Todd with a goal there, 1-0 up at home to Hamilton Accies. Is there a chance somewhere?
Yeah, it was a chance for Kilmarnock. It was Murray coming in from the wide, getting the header on, nearly scored. It's important to note Darren McInnes has made a tactical change. Kilmarnock are now playing 4-4-2, 2 wingers, 2 strikers, and I think they're having a go at it.
Let's see if that makes a difference. Michael, just to go back to the decision last week, out of the 4, and listen, I think we've spoken a lot less about VAR. I think Willie Collins has been very transparent. A lot of the referees feel that.
I'll tell you exactly why that wasn't a red card. It was because it was a goalkeeper. Psychologically, that's what's played the part in the referees and the VAR official's mind.
You said that. If that's a defender, it's not even a debate.
That's a nonsense. You're a football player. Regardless of a goalie, left back, centre forward, that's a sending off, regardless what you are.
Yeah,
it's endangering.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but
I agree with Michael, but that's where the officials are wrong.
100% psychologically, that is what's played the part in the officials not brandishing a red card. Because objectively, as Alan said, if you look at that challenge and you take away the fact that as a goalkeeper, if you just look at one player fouling the other, there is no defence in terms of why that wasn't a red card.
But it's a bit troubling that a number of officials could think that that's not a red card.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Because that's the most obvious one, wasn't it?
We called it practically in real time here. Certainly the first replay.
Yeah, but
that is as red as can be.
It comes to a certain element of groupthink when it comes to goalkeepers. That's the only thing I can say.
I can understand immediately an immediate reaction of goalkeeper, but once they have a little time to think about it.
Celtic.
Yes, Leanne.
I don't know who gets the final touch.
Right.
It's a delivery over on the right-hand side, an in-swing. I think Ida gets the flick on. Is it off the defender, Michael?
Joe Neal.
Yeah.
Joe Neal. But
yeah, I mean, look, it's a wicked delivery. Ida gets the touch on it.
Good ball. Look, McKeown whips it in. Ida gets across, gets a good flick on it as well.
It's a good area. Celtic have been knocking on the door at the start of this second half. James Forrest over in that right hand side as well. He's put some lovely deliveries into the box just without the reward, but they get the stroke of luck with the deflection in that instance, and Celtic have got that 2-goal cushion now.
And that's the thing, Leon, just to touch on Celtic, we'll come to Hibs in a minute, but far from the brilliant best this afternoon, but still they're finding a way to they're going to win this game.
Yeah, look, they've been comfortable in the game, as much as we're picking holes in the performance just because how good they've been this season and how comfortable they've looked in certain games, in certain moments, but just a little bit untidy. But again, when you make a number of changes and players come back in and relationships all over the pitch change, then there's an expectation that might happen. But they've got that 2-goal cushion now, and I would expect them just to kick on and certainly see this game out, possibly adding another 1 or 2 to the goal tally.
Mike, I'll come to you about Hibs in a minute. Ian, a change of keeper there?
Yes, Rob McCrory, I think he was injured at the disallowed goal. He tried to continue, he's had to come off, and they've brought on young Kieran O'Hara, and he's coming on right now.
Right, Michael, this is now a real test of character for Hibs, isn't it?
It is. I mean, look, the performance on the whole has been all right, but they're now, 2-0 down, and they need to make sure that they don't become despondent here, because Celtic, you can quite easily imagine, will just keep putting that foot down on the accelerator here. And as much as you could be saying, the first half performance was really positive, this is the situation Hibs find themselves in because of the bad start to the season. Every moment counts. So this last half an hour or so, they have to make sure that they don't fall apart. If it finishes 2-0, then they can come away and think, okay, that wasn't too bad. But I keep saying this, if it ends up being more and more and more, it becomes more difficult to paint a positive slant on things, even though the overall performance, you say, it wasn't too bad.
Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 1. Lacroix with a goal in 56 minutes. Confirmation, Joe Newell, own goal, 54 minutes. Celtic 2, Hibs 0. And there was another goal coming through. Brentford 3, Newcastle United 2. Nathan Collins on 56 minutes.
I was just going to say the other small thing about the Hibs context is here. Hearts look very good.
Go, Falkirk!
Yes, take it away, Stephen.
It's Alfie Aguiman again. It's just a shot from the edge of the box. It looks as if it's gone down the middle. You've got to be looking at Kevin Dabrowski. He got involved a couple of minutes ago, needlessly. He kicks the ball off for Ross McIver, and he kind of got the fans involved when Rafe had started the second half well. And for me, that's quite close down the middle. I think he's got to save that. But 2-0, Falkirk.
Yeah, cruising again.
Ian, that collision for the disallowed goal between goalkeeper and defender was... Goalkeeper, did he take a head knock there, or was it another part of him that was injured? It's hard to see.
No, I don't think it was a head. It definitely wasn't a head knock. It just looked like the knee or the upper thigh or something, and he was coming right onto it. And I think Robbie Dees came back into it, and that's what caused the injury. But Robbie Dees is still playing on, but obviously young Rob McCrory's had to go off. But it wasn't a head knock, Tom, no.
That was a big chance, Leanne.
Yeah, big chance. Good play from Alistair Johnson. Underlap and run over in that right-hand side, but a heavy touch. I think he must get the final touch as well. It's gone behind for a goal kick and a get out of jail card for Hibs, you would need to say.
Hearts looking very comfortable through time.
They're wanting a penalty there on the back post. The shirt is pulled off the back of Shankland. You can hear the fans in the background. There's got to be a wait. There has to be a check on this.
Right, we'll have a wee look here, hopefully.
Well, I mean, all he needs to do is basically just put a finger on his shirt, as we saw up at Tannadice last week, and that would be a...
Yeah, we hotly debated that one as well, it's fair to say. 3 incidents in that game that were certainly worthy of discussion.
Checks over, no penalty.
Check over, OK. But they're comfortable, the home side, Alan.
They are, but I know Dundee have got better, but they're going to make another change. Tiffany's coming on now as well. So he's now on, and Palmer Holden is off. So Tony's wrong, the changes. They have got slightly better in the second half, but Hearts are still the better side.
See that one at Tynecastle there with Shankland? I think that is the right decision. I don't think it was a penalty, but nobody's going to convince me that wasn't impeding Shankland more than Marcus Fraser was impeding Louis Moult.
So it's just lack of consistency.
So as much as the VAR officials say, all right, it wasn't a sending off, they're still saying it was a penalty.
Here we go. Lawrence Shankland's been booked for a high kick on Silla.
Right, we'll have a look. Would you agree, Michael and Tom, that it has been a lot better this season?
100%.
It has been.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's been a marked change, and credit to them for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure that's a booking.
No, that's what I was saying it for.
No, the ball just bounces up.
This is what annoys me. in football, right? So Silla's gone down. Now, has he been kicked in the head? He's gone down and he's holding his head. He's gone down holding his head, right? So he's indicating he's been kicked in the head.
Yeah.
And yet he's allowed to get up and walk and carry on. So he's not examined for a kick in the head, potential concussion. He's just, okay.
Red card check up here, guys.
I just think it's lunacy.
Oh, that looks bad on first view. We just saw it there on the screen here, Michael. Here we go. Is he not?
Oh. He'll get sent off for that.
It was at the far side,
So,
and the referee should actually.
Right, just to clarify, just to clarify for listeners, that's a potential red card to Kilmarnock player there.
Right, potential red card. They're checking it.
It's Armstrong.
Yeah,
Danny Armstrong.
Right, chance.
Come up and catch him on the.
Aye, he makes a fine tackle. I actually think he's just trying to pull his leg like almost out of the challenge, but it goes up as he does it. And it catches him.
What are you doing? Michael, what are you doing as a referee? You've had a look now.
I think he's getting sent off.
Yeah.
I honestly do, because it looks like he catches him on the thigh in the end.
Do you know what? I don't think it will, because I think the referee thinks he's a little bit guilty as well. He got in the way of something there a split second before it and should have stopped the game to give the ball to Kilmarnock. And I think that's why he may not get a red card. I might be wrong, he might get a red card.
Right, okay, so Steve McLean.
Have you seen the challenge again, Ian?
No, I've not seen it. It's a far side. I've not seen a replay of it. Typical wingers challenge.
I mean, he goes in, he wins the ball, and obviously as the two of them are colliding together, I almost think he's trying to like compress himself to not go into it too hard. But as he does that, his leg goes up high. He's got away with that. I'm surprised.
Yeah, the save at St Mirren from Balcom was magnificent, Kenny. Unbelievable save, top class. It was Motherwell's best move of the game by an absolute distance. The ball was cut back to Andy Halliday on the edge of the box. One of those wee lifted passes just over the defence as Steve Seddon made a run in behind, and he caught it really well with his left foot, and it was a top class save from Balcom. Really, really top draw to keep this at 0-0, and that is the best move of the second half, because other than that, it's been really, really substandard.
Have you seen much of Lennon Miller? Has he done much this afternoon?
They've missed him out completely. I mean, literally the back three of Motherwell, what it is now, you know, they've just launched it up the pitch. They have been better in the last 5 minutes, and
chance for Hibs.
He's on the ball now, but they've not used him.
Save.
Yes, Leanne.
Yeah, look, it's an error from Celtic. Hibs get a first opportunity saved, and then Schmeichel down to his right hand side. I don't know if it's his boot that he gets a touch on it with, turns it behind for a corner. Big chance. It was a short back pass, the initial one. Eli Johan bearing down.
Sounds like Hibs have had some chances.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
They have.
Oh my goodness, they're clear chances
right there. Plus the 3 1-on-1s in the first half.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a good save from Schmeichel. He spreads himself well, doesn't he? But you've got. I mean, I can't believe they're not in the score sheet here.
Kenny, would you have stuck them in your head?
Well, you know the answer to that, Ian. You know the answer to that. Ice cold.
For him.
Ice cold. Here we go. Let's move on. Willie, what's happening at Pataudry?
Change of subject.
Aye.
Well, it's been better in the second half from Aberdeen, that's for sure. The changes have made an important impact. Duke in particular, you know, setting up the opportunity for Clarkson. St Johnstone are struggling. You know, they're struggling to do what they did in the first half. They've been compact and they've defended reasonably well, but there's been no threat whatsoever. You know, they got the goal and another couple of opportunities by hitting Aberdeen on the break. They haven't had that threat going forward, so it's finally poised and balanced, but Aberdeen looking much better. It's not top quality from them, but it's better than the first half. Mind you, the first half was really poor.
Inverness Caldy Thistle back in it away at Montrose. 2-1 now the trail. Louis Longstaff with the goal there on 64 minutes. I'll go through the latest scores for you right across the country. So in the top flight this afternoon, Aberdeen 1, St Johnstone 1, Celtic 2, Hibs 0, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 2, Dundee 0, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. In the Championship, Dunfermline 1, Hamilton Accies 0, Falkirk 2, Wraith Rovers 0, Morton 0, Livingston 0, Partick Thistle 0, Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 2, Airdrie 0. Was that a chance?
Well,
Will Ferry. Yeah, I mean, sorry, there was certainly a little chance at Tannadice. Will Ferry, kept the ball getting flashed across to him, he cut inside on his weaker foot and just hit it over the crossbar. But in terms of this game, yeah, it was a chance.
Yeah, and a chance for you, Leanne?
I was just going to say, ask Michael to have a look and see whether he thought it was a chance or not. It was Eli Johan's attempt at goal, which he might enjoy.
I saw it.
Don't go. Would you like to say anything else apart from you saw it? His face says all, Leanne. His face says all.
It's a half chances that Ellie Johan's got to at least go and work the goalkeeper, and I don't know what part of his foot he catches it with, but it goes nowhere near the target.
I should just say there's clearly a delay on Ian's line there at Tannadice. That's why people are talking over a wee bit there.
Change here at Tynecastle, Kenny.
Yes,
young James Wilson's been excellent. 17 years of age, starting debut for Hearts. Led the line really well. He was the main striker. Lawrence Shanklin off him. He played very well, the young man.
Alan, I was wanting to ask you at the other end of the park, because I thought Craig Halkett was outstanding when he came on against Aberdeen, but he just looked like he was struggling with his calves a wee bit towards the end of the game. How's he looking today?
Good, very good. Penrice is the same. He's taken it, looks like a wee hamstring knocking. They can ill afford that with the Kingsley scenario, but no, the defence has played well. Ayagoki's been great at right back. Halkett with Rolls as well, and Penrice has been terrific. It's been a really good display from Hearts so far.
Halkett brings physicality where I think Hearts are sorely lacking physicality. And I thought before Critchley came in, he played a few games and he looked really good. He normally needs about 3 or 4 games to get up to speed, but I thought the few games that he played, he looked really good, and it was a wee bit unfortunate to drop out the team.
Right, Tom, I've got a point I want to put to you. Just quickly, some goal news. Annan and Athletic have equalised at home to Cove Rangers. Tommy Muir in 70 minutes, that's 1 apiece. Man City have equalised away at Crystal Palace, 2 apiece there. Rico Lewis in 68. It's a pet subject of yours, but great to see another youngster getting a chance at Tynecastle, because you don't think there's enough of that across Scottish football in general.
Well, go Falkirk 3-0.
Oh, I mean, take it away, Stephen. Rampant.
Caitlin Adams is peeled away. It's from a corner. He's got the first contact. I don't know who it's gone in off. I think it's an own goal, because even the way he's celebrating. But Rafe Rovers, every time they look as if they're in the game, Falkirk just hit them in the counter attack. They win the corner, and it's so easy to make it 3-0.
Yeah, very, very good from John McGlynn's side. What an incredible season they're having once again. Looking at the live table, albeit Livingston would have a game in hand, but the live table, 8 points clear. John McGlynn's Falkirk. Fantastic job he is doing there.
Yeah,
a lot of young Scots on that side.
On the young players. I mean, I was interested to listen to Philip Clement yesterday talking about how they should have more Colts teams.
He's missed. Stamatavtopoulos is in one-on-one with Balcom. Balcom comes out. He's got to do better. Lift it further over him to get a goal. But keeper makes a good save. It comes back off him again. And Motherwell have had moments in this second half. I have to say, I would struggle to say they deserve to be in front. However, they've had big moments. Balcom has been equal to them on both occasions, but Motherwell really should be one up. Still
Done a lot better in this second half, Kenny. They've upped the pace a bit. Tony Docherty's getting a response from his side. They forced a few corners. Penning had Hearts back at the moment.
No, Philip Clement talking about he wants Colts teams in the championship. You know, this is a club that they don't play young players at Rangers. You know, they don't. Celtic don't play young players. So I think it's a little bit rich calling for Colts teams in the championship to leg up the league structure when you don't have a commitment to young players in your first team.
It's a subject that gets people talking, that's for sure. The Colt teams. Another chance there, Leanne.
Yeah, chance for Lewis Miller at the back post. I think it's Greg Taylor that defends against him. He looks to get his shot off on target, and it must come off Taylor somewhere. It's flicked over the crossbar and behind for a corner for Hibs.
Is that not the whole point though, Tom, that Clement's saying that this current setup is why we don't feel comfortable playing the young players, so something needs to change? You know,
that's such an easy out though, Rory.
Yeah,
that's such an easy out.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Tom. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there's an opportunity to introduce more youngsters.
Oh, what a calamity! This has got to be 3, surely. Musa Drama, but the flag won't go up. He was offside initially anyway.
Oh my goodness!
But you see the calamity. He was offside with the initial one through. And then the keeper comes out, hits it off his own player.
Yes.
Goes to Drama. But offside. He was offside for the very first pass through.
That would have been an absolute belter. My goodness, what a dreadful error there. Yeah, on you go, Rory.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think we can, you know, we've said quite often in this show that the current setup is not conducive to getting, you know, we spoke about bringing back reserve teams. We've had huge discussions on it.
That's tight at Tynecastle, sorry, by the way.
Drama, the first pass, was it?
It's close, close, Alan.
Hold on, so we'll keep an eye on that. Another chance for you, Leanne.
Another chance for Hibs. It comes from the corner, back area. Schmeichel makes a save again. Right place, right time. I think Hibs were claiming that it was over the line already, but listen, what a response from Hibs after that second goal for Celtic. With, you know, question marks, would they put up the same type of performance in the second half, and they have done. They've responded really well. They're searching for that goal to get themselves back in the game. just nothing seems to be hitting the back of the net for them today.
Right, no goal at Tynecastle.
No, I thought he was, what Michael's saying, it's tight. I thought he was off just looking at it from the first sight of it.
Right, just confirmation it was Keelan Adams, that third goal for Falkirk. They lead Raith Rovers with 3-0. You'd have to say Schmeichel, what a signing he has been for Celtic. Rory, quickly jump in and make a point with Tom.
What a save.
That's just what
magnificent save there. So
right, Willie.
I think it was Jason Holt that put the ball in. It was a volley, and Doohan was equal to it. There's a whole ruck of bodies there coming in from the cross for St Johnstone from the right hand side. A really good save. Maybe it was just two straight at him, but still hope for St Johnstone to take the 3 points here. That they're beginning to get a little bit more of that momentum going forward. They've had a number of free kicks and corner kicks, so it's swinging back in favour of St Johnstone.
Could be a penalty.
Right, where Ian who for Ian?
For Dundee United. I mean, it was just my first instinct. I think the goalkeeper, the substitute goalkeeper, has absolutely went through it might be Dalby.
I think it is.
It went through the centre forward, and I think it might be fair. But yeah.
And Jim Goodwin's saying to the fourth official exactly the same point. Yeah. We've not seen a replay yet.
Right, we're still waiting on that.
The only thing I'll say, most of the Dundee United players aren't really claiming for it.
Because they're probably just looking and thinking that there's a challenge. But I'm with you.
Here's a better angle here, maybe Michael. Here we go.
The goalie doesn't get any of the ball. I'm not actually sure what he's trying to do. He doesn't. One thing I would say is, he doesn't punch him in the head as obvious as you think. There's just almost a bit more of a coming together.
Jim Goodwin isn't impressed on the touchline, is he?
Oh, I can understand why, but you know what? In this day and age of where you're wanting VAR not to get involved in everything and re-refereeing it, I think it's probably just on the borderline to say, okay.
There's your one. That's not clear and obvious.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
That's what VAR should be.
Yeah, that's what I would say. So yeah.
Right, Sean McGinty has equalised for Hamilton Accies away at Dunfermline. Rory, just quickly make a point. Do you know what, Rory?
I want a penalty there as well. They're screaming for a penalty. It's really good play by Devlin to the byline. His shot is saved by McCracken. It comes back to Spittle, and they're wanting a penalty for his effort. Michael, have a look at it. The player's on the ground. I don't think it is, but you'll get a better view than me.
And then it looks like it's saved by Ingram.
Oh, so he hits his hand?
Possibly. He comes flying out, and I'm presuming if they were claiming for a penalty, it must have hit his arm somewhere. I've not seen a replay of it, but yeah, that would be my sort of thoughts on it. I mean, look, just to go back to this sort of youth player context, and we're talking about Falkirk here, you need more people like John McGlynn involved, who actually sees the ability of folk and is willing to give them an opportunity. And Keelan Adams scored the third goal there, and he's a great example.
A great story, isn't it?
Great example.
Yeah.
And he's 22-year-old now, released by Hearts, so at that stage of his career he might not have been at the levels they were thinking. But John McGlynn, he has an eye on all these boys, and then he's away, university, gets a degree, playing Lowland League football, and you come. And look at him. I'm telling you right now, he would walk into a number of top-flight teams.
Steve McGinn, would you go along with that?
I think in terms of the position as well, I would go as far to say maybe I'm getting carried away a bit, but I think he could potentially be an internationalist one day.
Wow.
I think that highly of him. I think I trained with him a lot while he was still at the Colts. He was coming in, and I couldn't believe the attributes he had and how we'd able to get him and where he'd been playing his football. Really good footballer, but his size, he's so quick.
Yep.
And he's got a brilliant coach that's really developing him.
So, I mean, you would agree, Stephen, obviously you must do when you're saying he could be international. He'd walk into a number of top-flight teams, wouldn't he?
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, for me, definitely.
You look at Hearts, for example.
That's the recruitment, isn't it?
And Hearts have got young Forrester that's there, obviously coming through now, but Hearts have been crying out for a right-back for a number of years. Now, I don't know what he was like 3-4 years ago, but certainly looking at him now, you think to yourself, the improvement that he's made under John McGlynn, and you look, and I'm saying, he would walk into Hearts' team now, for me.
Yeah.
Michael, I'm not totally. I think data is good. Good data is really good, but also there's a manager
interpreting
here.
It?
Yeah, there's a manager here that goes to every game possible. He's at youth games, he's at B team games, he's at Lowland League games. He's signed someone from Heriot University. He has got a good eye for a player, and he knows the profile of player he's looking for.
Yeah.
That's the thing. My point about Clement. You can apply the same to Brendan Rodgers. When they talk about young players, you need to give young players. Their words would have a little bit more power if they actually had the tendency to play young players from time to time.
I don't disagree with you, Tom, at all. By the way, I wasn't making that point.
No, I know that.
The point I was making was, and I've been very, very critical of Clement in his press conference interviews after games. The point I was making was that we've sat in this show many times and said the system currently isn't set up to give youth players the best chance to bridge the gap between the under-19s and the first team.
Tannadice!
Oh, Ian, take away goal for United.
Yeah, it's I think it's Sam Dalby. He follows in a strike. I think it may have been Ryan Strain, the substitute goalie. The guys will tell me if he should have done better, but he's parried it right out to Sam Dalby's feet, and he's just knocked it into the roof of the net right in front of the United supporters. 1-0 Dundee United at Tannadice.
I'm going to keep talking and hopefully I get some action in Paisley, because every time I talk there's a goal going in. Fingers crossed it's the next one. But just to finish that off very quickly, all I was saying was that I don't think we can sit here and say that it's broken the system, it doesn't work, and then criticise for Clement for saying the same thing.
Right, OK, it's one we'll come back to. Edinburgh City 3-0 up away at Stirling Albion. And Rory, just on that goal at Tannadice, I know you've been a big fan, you've talked a lot about Sam Dalby, you've been impressed.
Myself? Yeah, listen, I think he works the width of the 18-yard box really well. I said it to Willie last week. I don't think he had his best game last week by all means, based on what Willie was saying, but I think he's an outball, and I think Ferry with his delivery, Stevenson on the other side has got a great engine, can get up and down. But I don't know what Ian's made of his performance today, but I think he's been very good for Dundee United.
Yeah, just looking at
the centre forward, and he's scored, so you know it's not been an easy game for strikers, but I think the guys have got to look at for me it looks as if young O'Hara, Kieran O'Hara, the substitute goal, I don't want to ever go to him, but I think he's got to do so much better, either hold it or 100%. Push it out further to the side.
Are United deserving of their lead?
Well, I think that Kilmarnock actually have been a better team in the second half. Derek's changed it to 4-4-2. Their two centre-backs are defending well in isolation. That goal, I think, come against the run of the play. Overall, Dundee United probably deserve a one-goal lead, but Kilmarnock have been better. They've got half a chance now with Brad Lyons.
Right, Willie Miller, we're going to see a winner, do you think, up there at Pittodrie?
Well, I hope so, Kenny. You know, hope is eternal, is that what they say?
but you say it, Willie. Doesn't matter what
if you say it's true, Willie.
Okay. Listen, there's enough decent players on the park. There's enough pace on the park. But you know the conditions are poor again. They're struggling, to make the passes count, be creative, in and around the box. So. Yeah, I'm hopeful, but I'm not positive. I couldn't say there hasn't been a barrel load of chances in the second half. I would say it's been a very even game, because I thought second half Aberdeen were going to take over, but that's not been the case. St Johnstone have come right back into it, played some decent football, but the creativity in and around the boxes has just not been there for either side. So I'll say it once again, I'm hopeful.
Kilmarnock dropping to 11th as it stands, isn't it?
Just looking at that live table, Tom. Hibs 12 points, Kilmarnock 13, Hearts 13, St Johnstone 14, County play tomorrow 15 points. It's so tight down there, isn't it?
Ian, we keep saying, Derek McKenna is a brilliant manager and his track record is exceptional. This is the 15th match of the season for them. 16th match of the season.
Yeah, listen, it's not that.
It's like, at what point do we go, hang on, they're in trouble here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they may be. I think they've had 2 or 3 injuries to key players. The second half they played a lot better today, but listen, you can't just put this down to be involved in European football, because it's kept happening, and they need some results, and they need some big results. And it's all very well beating Rangers at Rugby Park and going to Tynecastle winning, but these are the types of games, and away at St Johnstone or that type of fixture at home to Motherwell, they've got to start at home to Dundee when they only drew 1-8, and they've got to start taking 3 points, or they'll get dragged. Well, they're already dragged into it, but they get dragged into it even more.
Yeah, he said they were pitiful, certainly at Ibrox second half midweek. Another chance there at Celtic Park, Leanne?
Yeah, it's for Celtic. I think it was Austin Trusty that gets on the end of the corner. It's just touched over the bar at the last second. Smith in the Hibs goal, turned behind for another corner for Celtic.
Clyde 2, Peterhead 2, Jack Brown with equaliser for Peterhead there on 82 minutes. Any sign at all, Rory, of a goal in Paisley?
I mean, there's been chances. Conor McMenamin's one was, individual quality and a good save, but Motherwell have created the 2 best chances of the game, having been the second best team for the most of it. So Sam Nicholson's coming on now, Mikael Mandron's now on the pitch. There's been a few subs, but I don't see it at this moment in time, Kenny. I really don't. Still 0-0.
The ball hit the referee at Tynecastle, so he starts play right enough. It drops it to Cammy Devlin. Then, for some reason, Dundee then quickly get a free kick. I don't know what the situation is. Neil Critchley's gone mental down there at the 4th official. Lauren Shanklin's over at the referee.
We're still waiting. Do you know, there's one later on, Tom. We don't have time at the moment. Lauren
Shanklin's just been taken out of the front post.
It's quite a hot topic at the moment, Tom. I think we can discuss it with the fans when the fans join us at 5:30. But this story this week about the pyrotechnics and potentially Celtic, Rangers and Motherwell facing potential fines. I know you've got a suggestion, maybe a backstory here, but do you know what? Actually, save that, because I think it's a good one for later on. That we can discuss with the fans, because this is going to cost the clubs, isn't it?
Well, potentially. I think this is strict liability coming to Scottish football, the very thing that Neil Doncaster said could and would never come to Scottish football.
Right, so it's an interesting one.
I believe there's a reason why as well.
You believe, right? We'll get into that later on when we've got the fans joining us. Dunfermline back in front at home to Hamilton Accies. Josh Cooper with that goal on 83 minutes, 2-1. They lead there at East End Park. Let's get back into the Championship, because, Stephen, can you see anyone catching Falkirk from what you've seen week in, week out with this team?
No, I can't really. Even the quality of the sub, Callum Morrison, you see the threat he brings the other night on the telly against East Kilbride. He can't get into this team at the minute. I think Livingston on their day can give them a real game. I think they've been a real difficult opponent for them in the individual match day, but I can't see how this Falkirk team had any sort of drop off. I think they win the league and win it well.
Yeah, fantastic job he is doing there, John McGlynn. How would you assess the performance, Leanne, of both these sides at Celtic Park this afternoon?
Celtic have controlled the game for the most part, taking care of business as you would have expected them to do. Perhaps not with the same style that you would expect, because we've grown accustomed to that. But Hibs, I think, in terms of their overall performance, it's been good. I think, when they look back at the 2 goals that they've conceded, they'll pick holes in it. I think they'll feel they could have done better, especially when you've got a shape of a back 5. You either go and stop the crosses or you defend centrally a lot better, and in both occasions they've not managed to do that. So, but chances created at Celtic Park, they've probably had their fair share and created as many as any side that's come to Celtic Park this season. Normally it's a whitewash and a one-direction game when I've been here, but they've gave a fairly good account of themselves. So I think David Gray will be pleased with his side, disappointed not to have scored and certainly made more of the chances that they've managed to create. But Celtic, as it stands, 2-0 clean sheet. What more can you expect from them week in, week out?
I think if it finishes 2-0, I think he'll be pleased with this performance. The organisation, the guts that they've shown, the chances that they've created. Defensively, they haven't really done a whole lot wrong. They're 2-0 down, yeah, but they haven't made any of the mind-alteringly bad decisions that they've been making. So I think this if it finishes 2-0, this is reason to believe that Hibs are coming around that corner.
Yeah, I think that's a very good assessment. Tony Dock made a change there at Tynecastle, Alan.
He has, yeah. Vetro's on, that's his final change, and off has gone Josh Mulligan, who was just yellow carded for a heavy challenge on Cammy Devlin. He's been excellent again today, I've got to say. He's industry in the middle of the path for Hearts. He's been good. We've got 5 minutes to go and it's still 2-0 to Hearts.
The only caveat I would put on that for Hibs, and it's not to diminish what they've done today, because it has been okay, is that because of the situation they find themselves in, there's constantly going to be the questions posed to them until they get themselves out of trouble. They're going to be going bottom of the table. They've got Ross County at home, followed by Aberdeen away, Hearts away.
Yeah.
So, this month, I think the last game of the year is Kilmarnock at home, I think, and then they're into the new year. So the next 4 games, I would suggest, will tell us a lot more in regards to, are Hibs going to drag themselves out of this, or are they going to just fluctuate around there?
Need to see some consistency. Hibs
well, they
supporters.
have, but I mean, the performance against Aberdeen, very good. Performance and their victory away at Fir Park was very, very good.
Yeah, it was.
Today's been pretty good, but I go back to it, because of the lack of points they've picked up, everything's just still on a knife edge.
Everything is stressful.
Yeah, and they've still got Ross County next at home, massive game. Aberdeen away, Hearts away, Killie at home. Those 4 games are going to tell us a lot more, because there are winnable games in there, and then there are other games that are what you would suggest a real challenge and a test for them.
Was that a challenge? Was that a chance there at Tannadice?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to interrupt Michael, but it was a good chance, and I've seen him do it about 50 times. Kevin Holt rising in the box with a free head, and he gets up above people and he knocks it by the post. I thought it was a terrific chance. It's all
chance. Oh, lovely, absolutely lovely. Combination play, Kyogo's through and goals. Wee touch, sticks over the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Celtic 3, Hibernian 0. Game over.
I'm brilliantly described earlier. I'm watching that action live. I mean, Michael talked us about the pass through, but the touch from Kyogo and then the finish. It was sublime, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but it goes back to what Brendan Rodgers was talking before about, the intensity out of possession to win the ball back. They're on top of Triantis in a flash.
Triantis overcooks it in the middle of the pitch, though, Michael, doesn't he? Too many touches in a dangerous area.
That's what I was saying in terms of Celtic, the intensity on top of him. He's got, 3-4 players that are all sort of closing him down.
What does he do here? He takes a wee flick, doesn't he?
Yeah, he takes on his outside foot.
Forrest.
Forrest does really well.
And then he plays the ball.
The ball gets slipped into him. Forrest comes in, wins it back. He then receives it, plays the reverse ball. And Kyogo wants to take it on his outside foot, so he's well balanced. So he basically jumps over it and controls it with his right foot. The ball's coming from his left-hand side, controls it perfectly, and then
he lets it run through his leg. He lets it run through his leg.
That is sensational.
It's
brilliant.
It's a frustration for David Gray, though, because he's rung the changes. Hoylett's on the pitch, Dwight Gale's on the pitch, Martin Boyle's come on the pitch, Nicky Cadden's come on. He's got legs, he's got energy going forward. He's not looking for Triantis to dribble 35 yards for goal and try and do wee touches and rolls with inside his foot. Just deal with the ball and get the ball forward as quickly as you possibly can.
But Leanne, see what that is though. The problem is, and I go back to it, it's because Celtic are closing down. There's no obvious ball for Triantis there. He's taking an extra touch because he doesn't see something. Celtic have got 4 or 5 players.
He spoke about the press, didn't he, before the game, Brendan Rodgers, didn't he? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right on it.
Hibs' success, though, has come for not even looking to play the ball this afternoon. No, it's game for direct play. Playing top of Celtic, get the ball into the opposition half. And, as I say, the energy that they've got middle to front just now would... give you an idea that that's where the urgency and the expectation was.
Sorry, what's happening there, Willie?
At Pittodrie, it's the Salwin's down.
Right, here we are.
It looked like a really awkward one. A challenge out in the left-hand side.
Oh, Jesus. He's done his knee.
He's just getting treatment.
Oh, is that what it is?
He's done his right knee.
Yeah, he's just getting treatment.
He's hyperflexed his knee.
Because there's nothing in the challenge in terms of...
He basically takes a step over this player that's sliding in, and his right foot plants in the ground, and he's done his right knee. He's
horrible.
Oh.
Right, we'll get an update on that chance, Alan.
It's a chance for Dundee at the back post. It's really only half a chance for them that they've had in this whole game. It's a ball to the back, and this Portales can't get up above it, knocks it with the head over the top of the crossbar. We've got 30 seconds left, and whatever's added on, it's been comfortable for Hearts.
Some late goals. Inverness, Cali Thistle have fought back from 2-0 down. It's 2 apiece now away at Montrose. Paul Allen on 88 minutes. Dunfermline cruising now 3-1 up at home to Hamilton Accies. Josh Cooper on 88. Clyde 3-2 up at home to Peterhead. Liam Scullion on 90 minutes. Confirmation that Kyogo goal in 84 minutes. Celtic 3, Hibs 0. Tune into Sports League tonight. It's a thing of absolute beauty from the Celtic striker there at
3
Celtic
added
Park.
on minutes at Tynecastle.
3 at Tynecastle. Do you know what? We haven't been to Rory for a while. Any sign of anything happening there, Rory? It's not been a great game, has it?
No. Basawin's just stood up. I cannot believe he stood up. He's actually...
Yeah, there's a penalty check at Tannadice for Kilmarnock.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, they haven't made the change.
Oh, it's an absolute carbon copy of what happened last week.
So you giving it?
This will be a pit. In fact, oh no, he doesn't. He actually
did he just get a touch in front?
I don't know if he touches him. Do you know what? But I've got to say, St Mirren, it was barely touched Kevin Holt's boot.
There was more in it last week than there was in that today.
There was more of a swipe in that one the other day, but I don't think he catches the bottom of his boot. It almost just goes past his toe. That's not a penalty for me.
Did the referee give a penalty?
He's going for a look.
He's going for a look. So did he give or not give a penalty?
He never gave it. It went to VAR.
Right,
and Steve
okay.
McLean's away to look.
Well,
I'd just have a weird stand up.
Oh, I'd need to see another replay of this.
Right, so you're looking down, you're up in the gantry, looking right down below you where the VAR screen is. We can see Steve McLean in the pictures in the studio.
Gogic is going to walk here. 2 yellows. The Motherwell forward gets in behind him. He clips his heels. It's not intentional, but you know, I don't know if intention is relevant in this occasion because he does clip him. He is running in behind him. He is going away from goal right enough, but it's his second yellow, Gogic, and he's going to. I was going to say have an early back.
Does he touch? Does he given the penalty?
Given the penalty?
Does he touch him?
I couldn't see it, Michael. I immediately thought it might be a penalty, but we couldn't see it from up here, obviously.
I'd need to see a different angle to see whether he actually flicks his foot there at all, because certainly from that angle it looks like he just kicks past him.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'd need to see another angle to see whether...
They've got to have an angle, Michael, surely. He's given it quite quickly as well.
But he's showing the angles we're seeing are the VAR angles. I need to see another angle to see whether his foot actually rocks or moves. Because from that angle, it just looks like he kicks past him.
This is a huge moment, Ian. Who's stepping up?
Oh, great effort.
Looks like Bruce Anderson stepping up for the penalty kick. Jim Goodwin is making a substitution
get off the line
before the penalties they will be taken.
Oh, great chance there for Hearts. We'll go back. Two chances. We'll go back to this. This is a big moment up at Tranmere.
Oh! They've scored from the free kick. I think it's Tony Watt. Lennon Miller whips it to the front post. He glances it into the net. I think it's Tony Watt. The Motherwell fans are spilling over the holdings, and they've snatched it with the last kick of the game. 1-0 to Motherwell.
Wow, I mean, it didn't look like anything was going to happen in that game. We're seeing the celebrations there from the away fans. Stuart Kettle on the touchline. He's got his hands in his pockets.
Goal, Kilmarnock.
Right, Bruce Anderson, Ian, from the spot.
Bruce Anderson, yes. I mean, he didn't try and stick in the corner. He just bloated it right in the top corner, right in front of the Kilmarnock fans. And encouragingly, I think for Kilmarnock,
Tynecastle, Hearts are off the bottom of the league. Craig Gordon's got his 100 clean sheet. 2-0.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, that's a big moment there, isn't it? Still time for a winner there. Yeah, huge moment. Bruce Anderson, very cool.
What a penalty. That's a great finish.
Rifled it, didn't he?
Aye. Great finish. I'm just looking at that goal of Paisley. Tony Watt looks like he's in an acre of space. The defending. You know,
is there a block in there, Michael? Maybe because it looked like Miller was. It was quite a low free kick. I think he almost meant to play it in that area.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great ball in.
That's full time, Michael. 1-0 to Motherwell and Paisley.
94th minute winner for Motherwell. My goodness, how much does Stuart Kettle need that? Looks like a 94th minute winner
96
for Inverness Cali Thistle.
For the goalkeeper.
Well, has Boussaouan stayed on?
He stayed on.
Honestly, see when you watch the replay of it, you will wince.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. His knee, I thought he was like, horrible.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's played on.
He's hobbling, he's still hobbling.
Right, Paul Allen with that looks like a winner for Inverness Cali Thistle. 3-2 up. They've come from 2-0 down away at Montrose. 94th minute for Inverness Cali Thistle. So still playing there at Pittodrie. Will, is it anyone that's been in top in the last few minutes?
Nah, not really. It's been Aberdeen started the second half really well. But no, it's drifted away. You know, and St Johnstone had played some nice football. They've managed to play themselves back into the game, and it's been pretty even. Not too many opportunities, not too many chances either side. It was 6 minutes. We've played 96, almost 97 minutes so far we've played. But there was that Boussaouan stoppage, so you know the 6 minutes will be elongated and St Johnstone on the ball. They've got a wee opportunity here. Aberdeen a little bit all over the place, but they get back. Free kick is given just outside the box, right hand side for St Johnstone, and I think it's Shinnie that's showing the
full
yellow
time
card.
at Celtic Park. Celtic 3, Hibs 0.
Thanks, Leanne. That's actually been a great game at Celtic Park. I mean, so many chances there today.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic goal by Kyogo. You know, is it 3-0 a fair reflection? Possibly, but
thanks,
I think a lot of positives for Hibs in this game, despite it being 3-0.
Yeah, Falkirk cruising to a 3-0 victory as well at home to Wraith Rovers there this afternoon. Very good again from John McGlynn's side. So still waiting for this free kick to be taken, Willie?
Last chance, I would suggest, yeah. 97, nearly 98 on the clock. Kenny and Nicky Clark fancies it. Graham Carey's over it as well. You know, left and right foot. For me, probably the left foot would get the nod, but it's just outside the box. It's a really good opportunity for him. Puts it over the bar. I try to build that up as much as I possibly
You did your best, Willie. It's been not a great game, but you did your best to build. Oh my goodness, it was 4 or 5 feet over the bar, no doubt at all about that. A fair bit of whip on it, but not enough. East Fife looked to have scored a late winner at home to Elgin City. Jess Norrie.
Full time, Kenny, 1-1 at Pittodrie.
Thanks to Willie Miller. That's got to be a disappointment, you'd have to say, for Aberdeen, albeit they fought back. They got their goal. They equalised at the start of the second half, but a very good point for St Johnstone. Are you still playing there at Tannadice, Ian?
Yes, we are. There was 9 minutes added on. We were just coming into the last couple of minutes of it.
So if it finishes one apiece, Ian, would that be a fair reflection?
Well, I mean, I thought Kilmarnock were in the ascendancy when it was changed to 4-4-2, but after Dundee United scored, it just looked tomorrow they were going to score another one. And it just, I mean, as soon as I saw the penalty incident as the manager, I claimed straight away it's the type of one you would claim for. I don't know if there was much contact, but obviously he went to the screen, had a look at it, and they got their goal. And, you know, Kilmarnock maybe deserved that on the basis of the second half performance.
Right, we'll try and get a replay of that one, I think, Michael, because you weren't convinced. You were up. It's not a great picture. There's a small screen. You were up there trying to get a good look at it. We've just seen the one angle, but to be fair to the officials, it was given very quickly. So you'd imagine that would suggest it was a clear penalty. But we'll try and get another look at that, and we can talk about more about that later in the game. So still playing there.
Ask for guidance on that penalty, by the way.
You've asked for some guidance, right? Okay, that'll be interesting to see what that.
It didn't take long to look at it, Stephen McLean. I must admit, it took them 5-10 seconds maximum.
I'm not sure what guidance you need, Tom. He either touches his boot or he doesn't.
Yeah, but to me it didn't look like he did.
No, so you just need to try and wait for another angle.
Well,
otherwise, if there's another angle that shows it's been like his boot's touched, then you go, okay. If there's no, you say, that's a horrendous decision.
That's what I've asked for.
Another angle. Yeah. Well, let's wait and see.
Right, okay, let's wait and see what happens there. Just looking down the leagues, someone just messaged me to say there's been a penalty. It's been scored. Partick Thistle. There's a Partick Thistle fan who's joined us later in the programme, and she messaged there to say, thought it was going to have nothing to talk about. 3 minutes added on and a penalty that no one knows the reason for, but that penalty has been tucked away. Still waiting for the scorer to come through on that, but that's a big goal. Kyle Turner, 1 minute, 1-0 for them. Partick Thistle at home to Ayr United. That could turn out to be a huge goal. You'd have to say these sides below Falkirk now playing for the playoff places. So the
contact, apparently, we're told.
Say again?
We're told definitely contact.
For the word of the penalty up there at Tannadice. Right, Ian, so what's happening there? Still playing?
Yeah, still playing. Bob Wheels got a chance to win it. Great save there. Bobbling about in the box, cleared by Dundee United. Yeah, there must be seconds left, Kenny, but it's Kilmarnock that are pressing.
Right,
that's
Kilmarnock
full time now, Kenny.
Right.
Full time at Tannadice. Dundee United 1, Kilmarnock 1.
Thanks to Ian McCall. Apologies again, there's been a delay in that line all day. It's not great listening, I know, but Ian's brought us all the action from that game there. My goodness, there was late drama in that match at Tannadice. We've got a Kilmarnock fan joining us between 5:30 and 7 o'clock on Sports Sound this evening. Lots of reaction to come. We'll hear more from our pundits. We'll hear from some of the managers as well. Just seeing the players there shaking hands at the end of a hard-fought game, and just seeing the manager, Jim Goodwin, on the touchline there. He will, I'm sure, be reasonably happy with the point, but disappointed not to have held on and not perhaps to have gone on and got what would have turned out, you'd think, to be a crucial crucial goal there at Tannadice. Just looking at Celtic Park, the Celtic players doing their walk around the park there. I said it earlier on, if you're watching Sports Scene tonight, tune in for that Kyogo goal. Absolutely fantastic skill from the Celtic striker. So that's you right up to date with all the games that finished in the top flight. All the reaction to come on Sports, and stay with us. We're with you right through until 7 o'clock. Time now, though, for the BBC Radio Scotland News.
On digital radio,
BBC Sounds